Rema Hills ambayo ni almost 100 to 300 billion. Hizo ni vitu ambazo inafaa kuwa inapatia nchi pesa na inaweza kutupatia factories na inaweza create jobs whereby we don't need to go outside the country looking for job, or we can't be tammacking for years looking for jobs. Kazi ziko, lakini ni venye sasa nimekuja pia understand exactly hii mambo ya plan poverty ni nini through these spaces. I wish kuna venye hizi information ambayo tunazungumza hapa inaweza kufikia kila mtu. For instance, majority of the people for sure huwa majority of the people wana depend on the mainstream media, but mainstream media wako na agenda, wana push, in most cases huwa wana push agenda ya the government in place, na ndio wataonyesha tu vitu zingine moja mbili tatu yenye tunafikiri labda it is something for us, but in the long run most of the time wao wana tend to show the things of the government na wenye wako kwa serikali, na majority of the people hiyo ndio information wana consume. So the real raw facts information ambayo inazungumzwa hapa kwa X ama kwa hizi spaces, not many people wanafikiwa. So sometimes I ask myself, kama hii information ambayo sisi tunapata kutoka hapa, imagine kila mtu angekuwa na hii knowledge ambayo tuko nayo about the leadership in our country, I think itakuwa very easy for us to demand for anything that we want, kwa sababu tutakuwa tukisema tunafanya hivi, hatutaki huyu, sisi wote we go na tunatoka wote, of which for sure there is power in us the people, na hiyo ilikuwa demonstrated on the 25th of June, na that was done because all of us we had information. Tulikuwa na information kidogo kidogo hapa na pale, kuna wenye walikuwa na sambaza the same information on different social media platforms na watu wakajielimisha. Sasa huwa najiuliza, imagine if the entire country wangekuwa na hii information ambayo inakuwa shared hapa hivi kwa spaces, ingekuwa very easy for us to have the good leadership that we yearn for, the accountability that we need. Ingekuwa very easy for all of us to demand what is right for us, because kwa hizi spaces nimesikiza watu kama kina Fabish, kina Real Joe, watu wanaongea things to do with the constitution ambayo personally sikuwa najua a lot of things. Kwa najua constitution tulipitisha 2010, it's a good document, but ile kujua like this document inasema hivi, article 1 inasema all sovereign power belongs to the people, yani inamaanisha sisi ndio wenye tuko na hiyo power, sisi ni employees, the people, sisi ndio employers, sorry, na hao wenye tunaita waheshimiwa ama sijui viongozi, hao ni wafanyikazi wetu. It's the same thing kama uko kwa nyumba yako na umehaya mfanyikazi wa kukusaidia kwa nyumba, yani maid. So instead of huyo maid kukufanyia kazi, yeye ndo anakuamrisha, yeye ndo wewe ndo unampikia, badala yeye sasa ndo akutengenezee nyumba, afanye everything. So roles ime reverse. Our so-called leaders ama member of parliaments, MCAs, the executive, hawa ni employees wetu sisi ndo tumewaandika kazi. Hao maaskari tumewaandika kazi. Kazi yao ni kutuchunga sisi, the people, of which ni mimi na wewe. I wish hii information kama ingeweza fika kwa kila nyumba, kila mtu ajue this is how it's supposed to be. But sasa unfortunately not so many people are on online ama kwa hizi spaces, so very few of us ndo tunapata information. That's why inakuwa very easy au wenye wako na sauti like these so-called leaders, because hao ndo media huwa wanawapatia coverage sana, kutu dismiss na watu wengine pia not to see what the young people are agitating for. They don't take it seriously because of that, because they don't understand these things. But having spent a lot of time kwa hizi spaces, I usually like listening. I don't like talking because it makes me learn a lot. Keep learning new things for free. Imekuwa ni kama niko class, nafunzwa na walimu bure. I don't pay anything. So my only worry, kitu ambayo inanisumbua ni how do we get the information ambayo tumepata hapa kwa hizi spaces ifikie kila mtu, kwa sababu I believe like if this same information and understanding ambayo sisi wenye tuko kwa hizi spaces tumepata ikifikia hata askari ajue kazi yake ni gani, hata wenye wana abduct watu au watu wa NIS na DCI, labda hao wanafanya tu vitu kwa sababu hawajui, pia hawana information. But what if pia wangekuwa na information, ajue pia kazi yake ni gani? Pengine they don't know their jobs, au wanafuatilia tu whatever they are being told. I wish tungekuwa tuna inform everybody. If there is a way, kama tunaweza occupy all the mainstream media stations, ili civic education na pia ku make people understand exactly venye tunaongea hapa hivi kwa X spaces, I think it will be a very good strategy, na pia itatusaidia ku bring many people on board, because saizi inaonekana tu ni a group of people wenye wanapiga kelele, but it's not the truth. So if there's a way we can occupy even these media stations, the same information ambayo tuna learn hapa, tunajielimisha, tuweze kuipeleka mainstream medias na pia hizi other media stations, hata local vernacular and everything, watu waweze kupata ujumbe exactly. Na kama example hiyo ya kuonyesha watu ya kuwa wao ndio bosses, sio MPs. MPs ni employee. Wewe umemwandika mtu kazi akufanyie. Hiyo ikiweza ingia kwa akili ya common person, I think tutakuwa in a very better place. Alafu pia something nimekuja kunotice, the so-called politicians, unajua wanajaribu kutuinfiltrate pia, of which wana watu ambao wana succeed, na wakisucceed wanachukua vocal people kwenda to their side. Unfortunately pia sisi mtu akipelekwa pale tunajaribu tusi kumlet down, instead of tujaribu pia kuwin. We try to win even people from their side to come our side so that our voices can be amplified. Unajua the most powerful tool ambayo tuko nayo ni sauti yetu. Sauti yetu ndio the powerful tool, na wakiweza kuzima ama wakiweza kutununua sisi majority of the people, ama wa compromise most of our soldiers, hiyo information ina reduce to reach out to many people. So I just want to thank the guys like Fabish and who have been opening the spaces and continue to educate us on matters good governance and what is also ailing our country. And with this information, personally, Mimi, I try to tell my friends or even my family members about whatever I learn here. Now I'm doing it in my own small ways because hii ni jukumu la kila mtu. Asante. Thank you.
Global. Thank you. Kenya Leaks, go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Fabish and Bernard. You guys are doing a great job. And the previous speakers. Now, we have 10 days next week, Monday, for 11/11. So we have a lot of history of what is happening in our country. Everybody is suffering one way or the other. And if you're not suffering, you're in the wrong space. We need to make a change in this country, and change starts with us. What I can say is very simple. Kitu cha kwanza, we must now be talking about strategies for the day. What actions are we doing here? We are here to agree. What actions? One of the things I'm thinking about is, let's not wait for 1,000 people to be in this space for us to think we're achieving. So far, we are set to remove Ruto. Ruto will go. We have nothing personal about him, but basically he's unable to run this country. He has to go through a popular revolt. Kukataliwa na watu, ambiwe aende nyumbani. Because all this conmanship business they are doing now, we can see them trying to divide communities against communities, try to pull this community to be in government against another one, trying to consolidate this section on this section, lying in churches that we are here to unite the country, yet we know the people around him, even their own community, are not benefiting. So we are not going to protect a dictator, to allow him to get enough horns to be in the level of Mobutu, and others that have been there before, Saddam. They start like that, muzzling the people, muzzling anyone who speaks, unafungwa mdomo, ukienda kuongea, muzzling the priest, unafunga mdomo wa hubiri, because unawapatia pesa, unafunga mdomo majudges, because unawaambia usipofanya hivi ndakutoa, unakaa, unaenda kulala na judiciary, unaongezea pesa ya budget, unashika vikosi vyote vya polisi, unaongezea mishahara, unashika hawa mshahara ambayo una maana, 4,000 minus 2,500 minus another taxation is nothing. Yani is a Cornish government. So Ruto and his own cabal wamekuja waizi kutisha watu na mandege, kutisha watu na V8, sijui saa milioni ngapi, sijui wamenunua Karen. Hii yote ni upuzi na ni sera za serikali ya majambazi. Conman. Manake kila siku ukikuwa ukitaka kujua conman, either anaongea mengi, hiyo kwanza ni mara mingi na kwa hivyo. They talk a lot. A conman, most of the time they talk a lot. Number two, a conman is always creating new ideas. Hakuna conman anakuanga na kitu moja consistent. Leo analeta SHA, kesho anatoa NHIF, kesho analeta walimu. They're always moving around with ideas to mix the people and confuse the population. So what we are telling our people now, we have 10 days to go. Now 9 from tomorrow. Next week, Monday, 11/11. What are we going to do? We are here in this space to talk about actions. Kama unajua uko hapo wewe ni kijana wa university, you are a student leader or you are a student in a university, can you look to your student leader? Send them the poster. Tell them that 11/11, we are boycotting Safaricom. We are going to placards in Safaricom shops and telling them, please stop participating in butchering our people. Stop sharing our data. Kwa maduka yote ya Safaricom, mali yote unaona Safaricom, you butcher. You go there and demonstrate and carry placards in all the shops, the whole country. na Safaricom head office. That is number one. Number two, we are going to court. Milimani Court, kuna kesi ya Dani 11. We are going there to demonstrate and show our support and our public outrage against the Adani deal. Number three, look of what you can do within your locality. Kama ni chief wanawadhulumu, kama ni OCS, kama ni DO, kama ni mwalimu fulani principal, ambieni watu, punganeni watu 10, watu 20, mahali popote huko. Do something in your locality, take videos, take pictures, weka kwa mitandao. We are going to have occupying everywhere depending on where you are hurting. Kama uko Lodwar, mnajua nani anasumbua hapo. Gavana wengi wamekuwa shida, pangeni watu 20, wengine watakuja, raia watakuja. Anzeni kuongea hapo na watu wa Mogoka, watu wa Chang'aa, watu wa Ba, malaya wa hapo, sisi wengine wote, kila mtu ambaye anaumia. Watu wa Fuliza, Chokoraz, mobilize where you are. Don't wait for a footprint from Fabish or from anyone. Wewe mwenyewe mahali huko. If you are a teacher, can you start talking to your fellow teachers? What can we do to support the revolution? You may not want to be there as a principal, but you can incite other people behind the scenes to participate in the revolution by doing something in your locality. Lazima kuna DO anawasumbua hapo, kuna ofisi ya serikali anawasumbua, kuna Kenya Power anawasumbua, kuna mtu fulani anawasumbua. Kwa hiyo center yenyu, anza vuguvugu la mageuzi hapo. So here we are here to talk about solution. If you are here as a student of university, please, you know the student leaders of other university or university. Send posters, talk to them, you know them. Start mobilizing for where they are and also in Nairobi and other cities. That is now the starting point. So ukikuja hapa kwa speaker panel, please, let's save ourselves our time. Tumekasirika ya kutosha. Kama unajua uko kwa Fuliza, if you know your NCRB, if you know your loans, if you don't have help, ujapewa ya funding model, if you know you are home because of school fees, if you know you cannot teach, be able to pay school fees for your children, do something. Demonstrate against this, the Ministry of Education in your area. Kwa hiyo ofisi ya DO, DEB, anaitwa District Education Officer, go there with placards and say we are in trouble. Organize parents wengine 20 kwa hiyo shule yenu, mseme imeshindikana kulipa. Make your voice be counted and let's make it local. Let's take this rebellion to locality of Ruto so that now we see how many policemen can be everywhere to protect Ruto from power. As we march to higher from 11-11, we shall begin. We shall be evaluating. We shall be changing tact as we go. When they come to Nairobi, we shall do it in Garissa. If they're in Garissa, we shall do it in Mandera. If they are there, we shall do it in Mombasa State House. We shall keep moving. And it is a beginning of the revolution. Leaders will emerge. We are not following any leader. We only need our God on our side. We don't need all these people who have been there. But if they want to come and take advantage, no problem. Come and support us. We don't care. But remember, even if we remove Ruto, we shall measure you. If you have been eating in these governments for many years, we shall discuss your discussion after we're done with Ruto. Now we are happy Gachagua is out. The next is Ruto. And we are praying that Baba does not come back. We understand he's sick. We pray that he joins the devil because he's part of the devil kingdom in this republic. They are the people who have taken the blood of our children. We wish them death. The way our comrades have died, we wish them death. And if anybody can eliminate them, wherever they are, make their security a matter of your business. Kama ni mheshimiwa, let him live with a permanent threat. Take the threat to their homes, to their children, to their families. We cannot have our children dying, and yet their children are enjoying, their wives are enjoying, their concubines are enjoying. Let's take it local. And that is the revolution we're preaching. So let's come here with a solution. Where kama uko hapo umesikiza, think about what you can do where you are. If you're in an estate, kama uko Mathare, Kibera, think what you can do from there. Ongea na watu wenyu wenye group yenyu. Squad yenyu mjipangeni hapo. Msiongoje kitu kubwa. Jipangeni mahali mpo, vile mlivyo, fanyeni jambo la kugandamiza serikali ya Ruto ili ianguke. Thank you very much.
Kenya Leaks, I don't even know if I can follow that with any sentence or with any anything else. Like Maze, like that was amazing. And I know that was, for maybe a bunch of other people who are listening, it might feel like a bit, brutal, a bit too harsh, a bit too strong. But honestly, I think even if you look back at like the revolutions in zimefanya, even like the French Revolution, like they went there, they went for the king, they were like, okay, you are coming down, or it's not, or like there's nothing else happening. And I think global nikiconnect na chenye Kenya Alex alikuwa anajaribu kusema, like I think both of you are saying the same thing from different perspectives. Kenya Alex, you are like, is it like we need to step out there, we need to step into the streets, and we need to actually like force this thing to happen global. On the other end, unasema kuwa like you don't understand how, or rather like how do we, like the things you're learning saizi, how do we communicate? I think honestly chukua Kenya Alex amesema, like take the anger that you are hearing, like whoever you talk to, ukisikia anyone trying to be sympathetic to these people, please talk to them. Yeah, please just tell them, like hizo ndio issues zenye zimetuleta penye tuko saizi. Nilikuwa naongea na msee, I think was it 2 days ago, when I taken an Uber, I was doing my shopping for the month, and huyu msee alikuwa ananiambia kuwa look, tunakaa tumekaliwa sana, how is it possible that even MPs can come back every other 5 years? And I was even trying to explain here what a sociopathic human being looks like, and how such kind of a person anaweza enda na rudi na endelee kutudanganya and over and over and over again. And I think sometimes our kindness, sometimes our quietness can actually hurt us a lot. Kenya Leaks, one of the biggest thing in umesema yenye I'm actually so happy that you said is that a lot of us never benefit from what these people say that we are going to benefit from. Like, this is no longer about tribe. Yeah, like even some of us as Kalenjin men and women out here, like we are observing these people and we are like, wow, okay. Like hata uko kwenu, like literally your neighbors as a president, like are even protesting because they don't have food. Yeah, and like it's really painful to actually observe that, these people can actually do that. And at the same time, like you've mentioned something about Kina Raila and the rest of them, like it cuts across the board. And even if you look at this current particular man, he's doing exactly chenye alikuwa akifanya kitambo. Yeah, he's gone back to his original roots of 2007. Yeah, like in ODM and everything. Like he's trying kuongea na watu wa Coast, watu wa Nyanza, trying to kind of like look as if he's actually like a more national person. But at the end of the day, he has no interest of any human being in heart except his own. And he's going to hurt us again the same way that he did in 2007. Yeah. And global, like, there's no other way you need to communicate this. If you meet anyone, ni hiyo roho moja tu. Yeah. Like, hizi vitu, angalia maisha vile iko sahi. Hata ukiangalia waseka David D, who are saying that wako na PhDs out here. Yeah. Na wanaenda wakisema kuwa inflation as in bei ya vitu zimeshuka. Mbona watu wana complain kwa sababu zilishapanda to the point yenye hata ikianza kushuka hizi shuka paka ile level yenye watu wanaweza afford, but they're using that information to their advantage, kwa vitu zinashuka but hawaelezi kuwa zilishapanda sana paka hata watu hawakuwa wanaweza kuafford in the first place. Yeah, and that is, it's wrong, it's morally wrong. Yeah, kwa wasi hata wenye wako na hizo ma degrees and everything are the ones who are actually out here misleading people. Yeah, so that they can actually even have a sense of I don't know what. Yeah, na makotini zetu pia, like they're looking as if like ni kama wamevunjwa mgongo. Yeah, you don't even know what's happening anymore. Like, are they even on our side? Yeah, like how many cases have you seen in the past 2 years? Awasepade wamekuwa hapa for only 2 years, nothing more than that. But within those 2 years, how many cases have you seen being dismissed? The first one, one of the first ones ilikuwa ya Gashago. And after that, like another one. Now what a bunch of Kikuyus and Kale men, mostly men, who are associated with this particular government. Yeah. And after they started to like now associate the ODM, and Raila's point is what? Tumewatumia like 3 or 4 people to go and help them, but we are still in opposition. It doesn't work. Yeah. Like, you cannot lie to us that much every day and every time. Yeah, and let's not forget, like, they hurt us every day and they hurt us every time. Yeah, they confuse us. They make us look as if we are the ones who are fighting, but we are not even sometimes the ones who are rightfully fighting. They make us fight. Yeah, like honestly, if you go back to 207, like some of the things that was said on a radio station called Casa FM, yeah, they were despicable. Yeah, and it, like, think about what it makes for a bunch of young men to go to a church, yeah, yenye iko na watoto na wamama hata wazee wako, and burn it down. And when they see a woman akijaribu kutoa mtoto wake who is 3 years old, anamrudisha ndani ya moto. How much do you have to do to radicalize a person mpaka afanye vitu kaa hizo? Yeah, and that is the person who we are sitting here, like, watching him run out to the ground again. Yeah, even if you remember during the Gen Z protest, like immediately that evening after the parliament, watu waliingia ndani, no one overthrew parliament, but then nothing happened. Parliament came back a month later and they ran as normal. Parliament wasn't overthrown. A bunch of young people entered parliament out of anger. Yeah, and at the end of that day, the president stood on his podium at State House and said there were a bunch of terrorists who entered the parliament and they tried to overthrow the government. And he was very angry. And then the following day, after I realized that all what he was doing was out of anger, out of sociopathic anger, what did he do? He started to apologize. He started to try and mend things. Yeah. And that's what he's been doing up to today. Like, he's not the kind of person who will do anything. He's the kind of person who will fly around the world and then come back home and say, oh, I didn't know what was happening. Oh, I didn't realize, oh my God, what was happening. Yeah. So let's talk about it. And then when you ask him to talk about it, what does he say? You know, a child was shot 12 times. Is he alive or dead? Is that a conversation you're supposed to be having? Or come on, Maze? Like, sometimes, like, we don't need, how do I even put this? Like, we don't need that much information to actually realize that some people, the humanity in some people doesn't exist and that they don't need to be leading us. Yeah. And I think that's the anger we need to carry around. Globally, if you are looking for any way of like how to explain this, ni hivyo tu. Yeah, like, angalia kama huyu msi anakaa ni binadamu, ana behave ka binadamu ama ana behave ka stories zingine, which is exactly what Kenya Leaks anasema. Yeah. But Kenya Leaks is taking it to another level, which is like ban all of them, including their children. I think that is a little extreme. But still, yeah. Anyway, and Joga, as a doctor, you probably even know more when it comes to shift size, which is some of us are paying as much as 5,000, 10,000, maybe even 15,000. Yeah. And yeah, like, I'm very sure you have heard about a bunch of people. Maybe you can talk more about that. Ajoga, can you hear me?
Are you able to get me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not actually a medical officer. I'm having a background in health systems management. I've done a bachelor's in health systems management with a master's degree in molecular medicine. So I've been much in healthcare administration for the last 10 years with different organizations in Kenya, as well as in Sudan and DRC Congo, and back again in Kenya. I hope everyone can get me. If you are getting me, kindly tell me you are getting me. You can get me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you. Kenya Leaks unaweza msikia vizuri, si ndio?
It could be only you getting me. Maybe the rest are not getting me.
Brenda, can you hear Adioga?
I can hear him.
Yeah, so
okay,
as kindly know that is my background. I'm a healthcare admin. Ukitaka your facility to be well managed, you can always contact me for a few questions. But I wanted to demystify a few things on this she. You know, people don't make. In fact, there's a friend who was telling, is it called shisha? Can we give it a name called shisha then? But irrespective, there is a reason why it is called SHA is what is in legally registered or legally mandated to offer insurance cover for citizens. SHIF is an act. It is an act under SHA. Okay, it is social. They call it Social Health Insurance Fund, which was part of the three acts of parliament that were passed by the August House sometimes back in last year in October. But again, they are also uh, part of the whole bill that were thrown away by the court for the purpose of not being done in the right way, that is involving the public participation. But then many people are wondering, because I've been in about now 3 health facilities in Nairobi just to monitor what is the effectiveness of this dragon called SHA, and what are the weaknesses and the strength that it have. But it is literally coming to, we all need to know, or it is coming to the public knowledge, and many of you know this, that SHA is dysfunctional. It means it, by all rims of the three acts that it's supposed to be providing to the public, it is not operating. In short, ni kama kukua na you have a manhood, but it is not standing. That is what simply I can put it. So many people have been asking, because now I want to, I think my brother was telling me to demystify and maybe dissect, to many people who do not know this. But since the inception of NHIF, NHIF has been in operation for almost 20 years, since 1998. And it is so sad to note that the NHIF Act was deliberately repealed in its totality. And the SHA was brought, this SHA thing was brought as a savior. And by the way, from the physical outlook, I will be explaining to you this in a moment. You will look at SHA and see there is some sense of reprieve to the common mwananchi. But when you go back to services, there are no services being offered. Why? These are the questions many Kenyans are asking themselves. Why is SHA not operating the way NHIF used to be? What really was the main objective of bringing on board SHA and repealing the NHIF Act in its own in its totality? Why was the NHIF Act not just amended if there were issues with it? And why is it that SHA has been in operation for less than a month and there is public outcry, when NHIF had been in force for almost 26 years, and there was no much public outcry? These are questions many of us, including doctors, healthcare administrators, and anyone, including the public, are asking themselves. But the fundamental thing you need to know is that, and this is a question that any Kenyan with public interest at heart needs to ask, and ask everywhere: where did the subscriptions for NHIF go to, now that majority of the public do not get the services, and they are told first to be able to pay the 300, the minimum requirement for SHA subscriptions, to be able to get services? Then the question is begging, where is the money? Where is the subscriptions that were initially in NHIF? Pesa imeenda wapi? That is one of the most fundamental area that Kenyans do not actually understand, whether you are learned or not. Even doctors themselves, they don't know. Ile swali iko, pesa ya NHIF ile tulikuwa tunalipa ilienda wapi? Because why, part of the reason why SHA is not operating, and why, especially in I think it is not just operating everywhere, because I've visited level 5 and 6 and it is not operating actually. People are being coerced. People are being coerced to treat patients and under SHA. But anyway, when it comes to claiming the money by the facilities, it is not making total sense. And this was part of the reason why the High Court found it an illegality from day one, because there was no proper public participation. And part of what was supposed to bring in light, to be brought on light during public participation, is the public to get to know, and including the the hospital owners get to know, how am I going to claim? At what point do I start claiming? The public also needs to know, is this SHA applicable in public facility? The other question is, if you read at it, and I'll give you a brief benefits that SHA was provided to bring on board, you would see an angel, a girl, an angel. Yani, you want to marry, but you have met an angel. Maybe you are in a toxic relationship, but then you have now come and met an angel, a very nice girl. Kumbe huko ndani, what Lucky Dube used to say, he met a nice girl, did wedding, but at the end of the day, it was more toxic than even the previous relationship. That is where we are. So what is this SHA? So we all need to know that the transition from the National Health Insurance Fund to SHA was officially supposed to begin in October, which was forced on the throat of Kenyans after so many inquiries had been done on the same. But then the question is, why were Kenyans fighting? Then we have to look at what was it that Ruto had on board to bring SHA and repeal in totality NHIF, because part of the reason, and this is hypothetical, part of the reason why Ruto thought that NHIF was not operating, and that is why it is important for the public to know that the politicians we have now are doing business. By the way, this country is a business entity for the few. We are not being governed. We are not being given services. I don't know if someone getting in United States, for example, or even just down here in South Africa, they're ahead of us by some few miles. You elect leaders to bring services, basic services to you at the doorstep. But in this case, for the issue of SHA, and even for any other issue that is in the public domain, our leaders are in business. This is something that is need to be known, that if our leaders or the people we took or given the power, the mandate to take care of Kenyans are not in business, are not making our country a business, a profitable business entity, then what was it that was so difficult to bring amendment or repealing of NHIF in the public space before making it a legal entity? What was it that was so difficult? Why is it Adani that is coming in and being retracted on the throat of Kenyans through some malicious means? It is important to know that most Kenyans do not know this, that currently as things are, this country, in all way you look at it, is actually a business entity for the few. And that is why everything that this regime is doing is actually being opposed by the public. Because part of the reason why SHA was not actually given a green light to be affected, it would have been affected long time ago. But part of the reason why there was a delay was because there was no public voice in it. Now, let me just maybe what I was requested to do is to give you people, the public, what is literally the advantages of, or what is the difference between SHA and SHIF. So it is important that we all know that this SHA thing was established under the Social Health Insurance Act, the SHIF, okay, that is in 2023. And this meant it repealed in totality the 1998 NHIF Act. So SHA has got three major trunks. If you look at that act, it has got the primary healthcare fund that is supposed to be addressing issues at the outpatient level. It has the social health insurance fund. That is now the big thing that now we have. That is why you see most of the time it is an act. SHIF is the act. SHA is the legal entity that is operating under that act. Then it has got the emergency, chronic, and critical illness fund. What during NHIF used to be you could be treated for any chronic condition so long as you are updated, you have updated your contribution, or you are active in inpatient for any chronic complications, So these three are the ones that Kenyans are supposed to receive under these three services. These three acts are pegged on the services that Kenyans are supposed to receive under those acts, those three acts: the Social Health Insurance Fund, Primary Healthcare Fund, Emergency, Chronic, and Critical Illness Fund. Then on the issue of how is the access?
Adjoga,
yes.
Can I pause you there for a moment?
Yeah.
Let me doesn't know whether he doesn't even know how to articulate some of the things that we are talking about here to everyone else. And so if you are to be given the chance to be as simple as possible, how will you do it?
That's where I was coming to. I just want to know Kenyans, to let Kenyans know in broad, hii kitu ni nini and why was NHIF repealed? Ili watu wajue why and what is it that is Kenyans getting, and are they really getting it? That is the question. If you go to the hospital, you hear many people asking themselves, why is it that hatupati? Yet when we read the provisions under SHA, you get very nice things. So in terms of access healthcare, SHA allows you, to access healthcare by simply registering as a member. Initially, wakati wa NHIF, it was an issue of you must have an up-to-date nini, but SHA, as long as you've registered as a member and paid the 300, you can now access the services. Again, ujue wakati ule wa NHIF, most services were limited. But in this case here, SHA, wanasema, you can get services, irrespective of what you are actually suffering from, you can easily get services, whether you are looking for inpatients or outpatients, because it covers zile chronic conditions, primary health care, hizo zote, outpatient and inpatient. Lakini ukiangalia NHIF, ilikuwa ni, it was limited only to, hakukukuwa na primary health care, zile outpatient. If for NHIF, lazima ukue admitted, ukue inpatient hospitali, ndio uweze kupata the services. Ukiangalia mambo ya maternity, for example, again, NHIF, wakati wa NHIF, CS used to be around 5,000. Around there, I think. But in private facility, it was about 17,000. But under SHA, normal delivery is 10,000, but CS is 30,000. Renal care, the same. Mambo ya figo, For CS, now they are saying, you know, I think there is a lot of money, you know, like if you look at, for example, maternity, you will notice that wakati ule wa NHIF pesa ile ulikuwa na contribute ni kidogo sana, lakini hii CS you have to contribute 30,000 to be able to get those services. But there are so many. In short, what I'm saying is that there are so many good things that are covered under SHA. Unfortunately, they are not taking place. And why are they not taking place? Kwa sababu rolling SHA was not done in the right way. And it is clouded with a lot of storms. One is the transitioning process from NHIF to SHA. Public didn't need to suffer to this extent that people are suffering. It was, you know, transitioning any entity to a new entity, a public entity. It is like taking a one-year pilot. Then you address the challenges. But because of things looking like greediness, it was a sharp turn, and SHA came on board, and NHIF was disbanded. Then the question was, now that SHA has come on board, and they are saying, once you are a member and you have paid the subscription, the 300 subscription, you can easily get the services. But are Kenyans getting the services? They are not getting the services. Why? Because the money that were in NHIF has not been rolled under SHA. So when you go there and you expect to get any service because you have been contributing to NHIF, you are not going to get it. Even if you register for SHA, you will still not get it because there is no any private hospital that would treat you for free, maybe on dialysis, just because you have, you have a card for SHA and you are a member. And yet the money for NHIF that used to be there, which you claim to be contributing, is not reflected on the SHA. So these people are having difficulty in claiming that money. It is important for us to know this so that when finally we make decision to go to any healthcare facility, even when it is private, that is why they are charging directly from people, because there is no money to claim in SHA. But then the Kenyans are saying, but we have been contributing for NHIF for a long time. Where's the money? That money is not being reflected in SHA. Let's get that right. That is why majority of the health facilities are actually charging you. SHA had a lot of very good angels in it, but unfortunately, the way it is being rolled and being conducted is not what is supposed to be done. You know, it is completely opposite to what NHIF used to do, but it is done out of greediness. Thank you so much, Bernard. I'm seeing your hand.
Thank you, Joga. Yeah, because I wanted to stop you a bit there because I felt like you're going a bit too deep and maybe you are losing some of us, for example, me. And when I say losing, I mean that, for example, me as myself as someone on payroll, I used to pay probably like 1,700 and now I pay way more than that, like to the point where like even I could get like an international insurance and it would literally cover my my copay and everything, and I would be able to get like a huge way better like insurance. And so like but at the end of the day, like at the back of my head is like I pay that and then everyone else or someone else gets covered, which is the universal healthcare. And that is the understanding that I have, which is like if I pay 2.75%, yodo itachukuliwa, it will be put into a fund that will actually make sure that everyone else gets covered. But it sounds like right now, no one even knew how to transition from NHIF to NSS to SH or SHIF. And one of the things that you have to think about is from some of us tukiwa huku nje, two things come to mind. One, like when SHIF was rolled out, they just basically rebranded everything. Like hata ukiangalia the NHIF building in Upper Hill. Yeah, they just simply rebranded that building into Shift. So for most of us, that is Shift. Yeah, and when we look at our pay slips, like we stopped paying for NHIF, we now are paying for Shift. And so, like when the government says that, good, we have rolled this shit out, we are doing it, and we know what we are doing. Yeah, and then we see our pay slips and we're like, damn, this is painful. This is very painful, but let's see what the government can do. And then even before anything happens, you see people saying that, their parents are dying because they cannot access dialysis. Yeah. Or they are patients of dialysis, but they cannot access extra medication. Yeah. Or you go back home into the village where I come from in Baringo, and you hear of like elderly, people saying that they cannot access like some of the simplest medication that they used to get through NHIF anymore. And so now you wonder, like, if this was supposed to be universal healthcare, that what are we even paying for? Yeah, like where is the money going to rather? And then when you look at the story that we saw, I think a few weeks ago, of like the mission hospitals and the private hospitals almost stopping coverage because they haven't been paid for NHIF. And now the government is saying, okay, they've released money to NHIF. So like you cannot say that NHIF and SHIF are different. Yeah, they're the same thing to the rest of us out here. And so as a person who paid for NHIF before and who's paying for SHIF right now, and I have not stopped paying for it, and then now I hear that things are not working, like that is despicably annoying to even hear. Yeah, because it's now you wonder, like, where is that money going? Who is taking the money, and where is, or rather, like, okay, the most important question in mind is like, where does the level of care lie? Yeah, like who's responsible for the health of these people who are in hospital waiting for NHIF to pay, and the hospitals are saying that they are not going to pay. Yeah, or rather they're not going to give them healthcare because the government hasn't given them any direction to pay. And how do we reconcile that? And I know this is not for you, Ajoga, to answer. This is for everyone actually to think about. Yeah, because this is actually a failure. Yeah, where the government now is sitting there and telling us to be patient. Yeah, how do you become patient when you're sick? Yeah, if you're gonna choose, like, if you think about like how Obamacare was rolled out, Obamacare has one of the biggest issues that they ever had, but they're all computer system issues. But at the end of the day, everyone got actually help. Yeah. But now here we are with like people telling us, oh, they're going to roll out some kind of like new system, but then no one is getting help. And then even like right now, when was it, like yesterday, they're rolling out a new CG like program to like take care of women. Yeah. And now you sit and you wonder, okay, but the Ajoga, I want you to talk about that. Like, how is that different from Linda Mama? Linda Mama was working perfect. How in the devil did you take that out? And then now you're telling us that that's something that you're like, is it even going to work?
I think you can get me.
Yeah. But before you go, I'm going to let Mr. Cool say something first.
Hey, hi everyone. I just ended here, so I didn't hear much of what everyone spoke, but from what Bernard has been talking about, I do not, personally, I do not understand much, about the Shivsha and all that, but I'm just wondering if you are doing whatever the contributions, are those mandatory or whatever? If they are not, can you just like pull out from it, or how does this work?
Yeah, I think I need to answer that straight away.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if I don't know if people know, this is why sometimes I bring so many context into play before I get to this issue of 1111. I don't know if people know that.
But at yoga, like, let me challenge you: be very direct and use very simple language. Like, you can be very professional. Use a very simple language that we can all understand.
Okay. I don't know if many people know that. I don't know if people know what we are dealing with. It is all through conmanship from day one. What I was saying, Tangu from the time it was rolled out, it had public interest issues that were not solved. But now coming straight to Linda Mama. Linda Mama ilikuwa ina fund, like ilikuwa ina deal na all healthcare za wamama from the time of conception. Yani unaenda clinic, una deliver na pia even postnatal care, na ilikuwa pegged on NHIF. You see, the government hospitals zilikuwa zinalipwa around 2,500 to 5,000, but private walikuwa nalipwa around 3,500, but it was pegged on NHIF. So it was something created by Uhuru Kenyatta to be able to support women, because majority of the women hawakuwa wanapata, most of the women were not getting a quality antenatal care na zile za uzazi. But that said, why is SHA has come in this manner? With SHA, remember, it is mandatory. It is mandatory. It means no Kenyan will be able to get service yoyote in any private government, in any government facility without that card, ya SHA. The bitter where it becomes bitter is on the people who are working for the government, where it is mandatory you must be deducted 2.7%, which was not in NHIF. In NHIF, the minimum for any Kenyan was 500, and NHIF also had rates. It had rates, but it was not as exaggerative as you can see it's under SHA. The question is, how many people paid? Because since it was rolled out, I think people have been able to get salaries, and people have been deducted, and people have gone to the same to hospitals after deductions, and still they cannot be able to get services. Those are the questions that we're asking us. Where is the money going to, and why are public people working for the government being deducted this huge amount of money? And why is it going to? Because you cannot say you are being deducted 2.7%, and out of that, dental you only get 900 per year. Dental care, other services, you pay a lot of money, but what you get at the end of the day, I don't know which facility in Kenya will be able to give you a dental care of 900 for a whole year. It is not making sense, and that is why the private facilities are shunning away from this, since when it comes to claiming the funds, I know it will be a tug of war. It will be a whole war. And anyway, it is not even making sense, because even if you provide a dental care of 90,000 and you are only supposed to claim 900 at the end of the day, it is not making logical sense. It is a whole sham in conmanship. It's totally not making any sense at all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Joga. And I'm gonna bring you back a little later to talk about, like, where do you think that, if you know where that money is going, because, like, if you are all paying 2.75%, then where is the money going? Because I think, as Javier, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, you are trying to bring in the comment, which is, like, where is the NHIF money? I agree with you. Like, some of us even paid like some money and we don't know where it went. And I think the cap on NHIF was about 1,700, which is decent. But now I think some people are even thinking of up to 16,000, maybe even more, which is a bit more than what if ungetaka kuenda huko and, like, let's say, find an insurance company from the United States, you can actually pay that premium and get very good insurance. And so, like, the question is like, how are we paying all this money, which Safaricom is supposed to be channeling through their system that they're supposed to wametengeneza, and up to now we are having situations where hospitals are like, we don't even know how to identify a patient, yeah, and even in some situations like, if this patient was under NHIF, Ajoga, could you please mute if you can?
Yeah, I think mine is muted. Maybe someone is on.
Okay. So sorry. I think it was Mr. Cool. So sorry. Yeah. The fact that we are having a system that, he's collecting a lot and is being supported by Safaricom, who are saying that it was supposed to be working, and up to now, mission hospitals like the likes of Kijabe Mission Hospital, like any Catholic hospital in Unajua, and almost any private hospital that used to accept NHIF are now saying they're not even onboarded onto shift. Yeah. And so like like this is one of the many issues that we have. This is one of the many issues to just like come back to the bigger picture that we have been talking about. Yeah. And the bigger picture here is that, like almost every system is broken down. Like everything that used to work, these people are taking it and they're breaking it even more and more. And it doesn't make sense. And Javier, please go ahead. Javier, I am Xavier, the person with their hand up.
Mr. Xavier.
Can you please go ahead? Miss Xavier, okay. Xavier, go ahead. Meanwhile, Mr. Cole, do you have anything to say?
I think this is an area that I do not have much knowledge about, so I will be, listening to just maybe I get some more insights.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, so I'm gonna pose a question to you, as that because I think one of the things that it wasn't Kenya, like it was a global. One of the things that he brought up was that as typical Kenyans, we struggle to communicate a lot of these things, or we struggle to even get this information. And I'm very sure that even you, as a Kenyan, you've probably like had particular, experiences or incidences with our healthcare system, and you've learned something about our healthcare system just through a yoga right now. Do you have anything to add? Do you have any frustration that you have in mind, or do you have any other? Yeah. Kenya Leaks, do you want to chime in any way? Adjoga, can you hear me? Am I the one who is probably struggling to connect?
Unfortunately, I can't hear anyone. Maybe you can add more.
Okay, so you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. Fabish, are you able to hear me? All right, Sasa. Matea, do you want to join? Do you want to come up as a speaker? Meanwhile, I'm going to challenge you, especially Kenya Leaks, Mr. Cool, Avia, clearly he has his hand up, but I don't know what's happening. Ajoga as well. So yeah, Matea, please come up as a speaker if you'd like. So I'm going to push this conversation a bit deeper, yeah? And this is where I'm going to push it. And all of us here are very reasonable people. We know what is wrong, what is right. We know how tribalistic our politicians are. We know that, we have very problematic politicians. But in my head, when we have all these conversations, the one thing that we know is that 2027, yes, it might be 3 years away, but if you look at some of the people that have come up, the likes of Samuel and the likes of this other guy, I forget his name, I'm so sorry. They, at the beginning, Morara, at the beginning, they seemed as if, they can be reasonable people that, we can put forward, as young men and women and be like, okay, these are people that we can actually reasonably say they can represent us in the future. But like they have already had their own like bespoke issues, like with either financial or like the way they talk or like some of the beliefs. And I think it's a good thing personally that we are weeding out a lot of these people. Like if you're having that, if this was happening in 2026 and or 2027 and these people showed up, we probably would have had the root of problem, of like, oh my God, we don't know who we're gonna vote for, and then this guy shows up and seems reasonable, and then we vote for, and then we end up with a psychopathic person in power. So if we get to the situation in 2027 where we cannot reasonably find someone to agree with, how were people amenable with some of the people that have been there before actually like having to step up to power and be like, okay, fine, you need to trust us because we have been there and we are going to be able to go through this with you. The likes of Umkia Mtata, for example. Mr. Cool,
Hey, so is your question about getting to a compromise as far as the candidate or presidential candidate?
Exactly. Are we willing to get into a compromise with someone who has been in the system before? Like
I think it, as far as I'm concerned, Okia Umtata has not been in the system, but he has been, I guess, fighting the system with us. And, when it comes, time will come when we'll have to make that decision. But if it comes to that, there are a couple of people that I'm sure could all compromise on, that are much, much better than what we have right now. Some of them might not be, necessarily everyone's choice, but in the light of what we have, I think almost anyone can do better than, what we got. So that would be an easy choice as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Cole. I didn't think it that way. I didn't think that it was going to be an easy choice. In my head, it was like, even for someone like Omkia, he's already in the system in the sense that he's already a senator. But you're right. Like, okay, I think Omkia might be a bad example. What if we ended up with a because like one of the things that we have to remember, which is one of the things in Global was talking about, which is some of the information that we get here on X, that we get on any other social media platform, doesn't trickle down, Ifiki, to the other people across the board. In my opinion, I think in Africa, at least, at the very least, in Africa to the younger generation. Yeah. And I think they already a very huge voting population. But we should not ignore the fact that there are a lot of, outside of Gen Zs and millennials, the older generations, there are still a lot of them. And they are likely to make mistakes that are probably going to take us back. That's why I was fronting someone like Okia Mtata, because it might be someone they recognize. But actually, even Okia might not be someone they recognize. If most of us were to think about like what could possibly, and I think maybe this is a question I'm trying to ask here, which is what could possibly happen in 2027 if our elections, or rather like if our politics were to continue the way they continue right now.
Bernard, sorry.
Yep.
Nimetoka kidogo na nimerudi tayari mshani pandisha pressure. You know, first, me personally, I don't like when we turn and start discussing even 2027 because forget about 2027. You know, hata nishachoka akili. Jamani. You know, 2027, hata museme mutafute, hata museme munalete John Paul. I mean, this Pope that is there. Under this William Ruto. I don't know why sometimes.
At the moment, I'm driving. My network is not good, so in the next 3-5 minutes, I should be in a better place.
Okay. So let's not even think 2027 should not even be something that we are discussing. I don't know why we should waste our energies and strategies, chasing wind. 2027, hata museme muweke nani. It cannot work. This is out of question. We should not even think. Ati sijui tuanze kufikiria that now we should start and thinking that we should that thinking sijui nani tutamweka 2027. Tutamweka vipi ikiwa hatuwezi kumondoa Ruto saa hizi? If we cannot remove Ruto through revolution, just relax, make peace with him, start supporting him. That's what I'm saying. Anyone that ananiambia mambo ya 2027, I count you as a Ruto supporter, because by us pushing the narrative that to 2027, no need even for us to talk about Okiya Mtata. That's something that you know it cannot work. Okiya Mtata, we can only make president after we have done revolution. Then now we can say it, yes. What we should be talking is after revolution, who do you think now we can front to be there? But if we are saying 2027, anyone that is talking 2027, let's just support Ruto. Kama wewe unakaa ukipanga mpango ya 2027, then there is no need. Let's all just support Ruto. Anything you want to do, let him do for 10 years, or even he can stay more than 15 years. So sometimes tunaenda baka, I think sijui akili zetu zinakwama ama zinachanganyikana wapi. Tunaanza kuongea mambo ya 2027 under William Ruto. How? And even we start now sijui kufikiria sijui nani, sijui ni bro. With William Ruto, 2027 is out of question. Your elections are how? There'll be sasa kama saizi unaona, you know the reason why ana delay IBC tactically. Now it is only 2.5 years before next election. Sasa hii tumefika 2025. Election is in 2027. So it is 2 years and some few months. Bado hata tujeform. Tuanze kuform, alafu tuzungushane kotini kidogo, because hiyo ndio Kenya yetu. Tukianza kuform, someone will take this commissioner, oh, you know, this commissioner have bad this record, this commissioner, he was in this institution, this and that. Now we go to court. Before hiyo case ishe kotini, tutakuwa tuko 2025 around August. Will be 2 years down the line. Now, commission sasa iko in place. Before tuanze mambo ya cleaning the register, before we talk about the new registration, the registration of new voters, before tukuje sasa mambo ya procurement. That procurement, in fact, itakuwa ni kitu ambayo inapelekwa rush, and they already make the system who are those companies ambao wata supply the materials, but itakuwa inafanywa tu kienyeji, because where even it will be lies a big problem is even getting the right company that will supply the materials. But these people, they already have in place. Sasa before you realize tutakuwa tunazungushana tena kotini, huku mambo ikiderail. So there will be no time to even arrange for a proper election first. And that is what Ruto is targeting. So someone that is, when we take our conversation to 2027, that is a pipe dream. that we should not even talk about it. William Ruto can only be removed through revolution, no any other system. Kwa hivyo tukiongea mambo ya tukusijui kufikiria mambo ya 2027, hiyo tu tunaongea tu kuchokeshana akili. Yes, Bernard.
Look, Fabish, I agree with you on the level that we need to be frustrated and we need to, like we need to be impatient the way that you're describing, yeah. But I think you are being very unfair when you're trying to describe those of us that are being practical about the fact that, come on, Maze, like two things that you already said on your own, using your own words, yeah. One is that we don't even have a functional like IBC system, yeah, and that is something that's outside of our own hands. That's number one. Number two, like for all those things to be put in place, they need to be put in place throughout that time between now and 2027. But I think the thing that maybe you're misunderstanding is it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that something else cannot run in parallel. Yeah, what can run in parallel is okay. Can we push those systems to be put in place? And I wasn't saying that hizo vitu hazifai zinafanyika. In fact, those are the things we need to be focusing on. If you were to ask me, by the like, even the whole conversation of like, oh, let's have a revolution, let's push Ruto out of power. Like, I think it's futile. Yeah, it's incredibly futile for us to simame in front of a human being who has already done two things within less than 6 months. Yeah, one, he has already killed over 60 young men and women, and two, he has already been able to push his deputy out of power using the same parliamentary system that we could possibly use as people to actually push him out. We don't have any constitutional ability of actually pushing this human being out. Like and I think that is probably, like, if you're to ask me, one of the things that we need to remember and actually like keep in mind, which is we have a constitution in place that has been working very well, yeah, and it's working right now against us. But it doesn't mean that we should push it out. It doesn't mean that we should actually like, how do I put
this? No. And tell me how the constitution is working against us.
The constitution is working against us because the president can only be pushed out of power by parliament. The deputy can only be pushed out of power by parliament. And that is why we are all struggling, because we don't have a way of pushing him out of power. And number three, the only way you can actually push those people...
Wait, that is why you are getting it wrong. What do you mean we don't have a way of pushing him out of power? That means you have not been understanding when we talk of revolution.
Okay, like, come on, Fabish, like, can I ask you a question? Like, what you're asking for is that you're asking for us to, like, march to State House and ask this guy to leave. You're asking us to march in front of us.
And to you, that one is something that you cannot do, right?
It's mass suicide, yeah. Like, it's possible, you're right, yeah, but it's possible at a different level. Like, it's possible at the level that thousands of people will die.
So what is possible to you? What is possible to... No, now give a solution. What is possible to you?
Yeah. What is possible to me is what we are trying to talk about right now. Yeah?
Which about is like, what? About 2027?
Yeah, like, come on. Like, look, we don't have a way out here. And
I thought you are smart enough, Bernard. You are disappointing yourself. You know, you cannot just come here. We have been talking all this while. Even I'm making you co-host. I thought you are enough. You are smart enough. So all this thing that you are talking is not making sense to you. It's not entering your ear. Alafu nakuja hapa kutuambia ati we cannot do this, we cannot do that. And yet again, you want to tell us that we can remove him in 2027. You are coming to tell us that, oh, he has removed his deputy, he has killed 60 people, and now we should now raise our hands up at alafu tungoje 2027. Come on, Bernard. People are not stupid, Bernard. When you are talking something, you know, zingine unanifanya tu. What are you saying? I want to nimekuita tena. Make me make sense. And don't just because of talking.
Kitu moja me and you maybe are not agreeing on, and I think sometimes it's okay for people to to disagree on such kind of a level. Yeah, I think you feel that this should happen now, and for me, I feel that the revolution sometimes takes a minute, and I think for me that is the direction I'm going. Yeah, I'm going in the direction. I'm not saying that this guy should even be in power one day. Yeah, I'm not even saying this guy should be in power 1 second.
No, tusitumie kizungu nyingi Bernard. Let's assume revolution haijafanyika mpaka 2027. So what are you telling us? Let's assume revolution haijafanyika mpaka 2027.
Yep. Thank you. So, okay, this is what I'm telling you here, and I'm gonna go back to what Global was saying earlier, yeah, which is that Fabish, Wewe, Kenyalit, Brenda, Mr. Cool, and more importantly, the doctor who was here earlier. You are professionals. You understand what's happening. You are frustrated, yeah, and you know that's why I pushed that doctor, yeah, because I wanted to see exactly what he has in his head, and you could see his frustration even just by the way he's talking, yeah. And I have the same frustrations. You have the same frustrations, yeah. But like according to what Global alikuwa anasema saa zile, yeah, that frustration sometimes doesn't trickle down, yeah. The people when you wako huko home, yeah, they are slower than the rest of us, yeah, and they are slow by virtues of two things. One is that they might not be as necessarily educated as the rest of us. Two,
now in that
they
point,
might not have the same
wait, Bernard. In that
yeah.
point, so that we go together.
Yep.
Wait, so that we go together.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. Do you know my grandfather?
No, I wasn't assuming that I know you.
You don't know my grandfather.
Family, yeah.
You may just say you don't know, right?
Because
you have never had that. And even if I tell you have never had, probably you have never had because it's not known beyond his village. Okay? Likewise, maybe your grandfather also is not known beyond his village. Do you know Dedan Kimathi?
Oh, definitely. Yes, I do.
Do you know Dedan Kimathi?
Yes.
You know Bildad Kagia? Of course.
Yes, I do.
You know Akina Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, right?
Absolutely.
Now, the reason why I'm asking you this question is to tell you, kuwa, hiyo mambo ya kusema ati must trickle down. Let me tell you, in a revolution, it doesn't mean kwamba ati lazima each and every single person, mpaka babu yangu, akuja Mondoi Ruto. But we just need a sizable number. We have 55 million Kenyans. Not all 55 million Kenyans. Ruto will still, all these dictators that you see, they always maintain their supporters. Don't think they don't have their supporters. They have their supporters. So what we just need is like-minded people. And then the reason why I disagree with you is when you want to narrow your mind and tell us that, oh, now the constitution is working against us. We don't have a way to remove William Ruto. So William Ruto now can do whatever he wants. Then we wait in 2027 for him kwenda kutupaka matope in a sham election. Alafu tena tuseme kuwa, oh, unajua sasa the constitution was against us. Come on, Bernard. Where it is doing. And this kind of fear, as you to get a state house, many people are going to die, blah, 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 This is the kind of narrative that NIS are pushing in these spaces, ili tukae tukiwa na uoga. Many people have died even without going to state house. Some people are abducted. They have never even gone to chief's house. Some people, they die in hospital. They don't get medication. They have never even go to Nyumba Kumi house to threaten. Some people, they died of cancer. Sababu wanataka kuleta na ma-GMO. Hawajaenda hata kwa headmaster kuthreaten them. Kwa hivyo, kama unataka kukua kwa hii movement, you know, when we want to do something, hiyo mambo ya fear, ya kuziana fear, that is what we are saying. It cannot work. So, if we have still people like you, ambao unasema kwamba, you want to remove William Ruto, lakini unataka kuvaa tie na kushika file. Yes, for that way it cannot work. Unataka kushika Biblia, kuhubiri, utaendelea kuhubiri. Mpaka ile siku Yesu atarudi, ukiendelea. Revolution si ya waoga. Na kusema kwamba atio sababu unaona vile constitution iko, vile mambo iko, nimesema, the reason why nilikuuliza, yes, revolution might go even beyond 2027. The agenda should be this way. We are not going to election with William Ruto no matter what. Hata tukifika 2027 na tuje mtoa, we cannot participate in an election with him. Because definitely tutajua ile kitu ambao atafanya. Wewe unataka uniambie judiciary mzima akiwa anaweka kwa mfuko, parliament anaweka kwa mfuko, alafu ndio IEBC atashindwa kuweka kwa mfuko? Ni miracle gani mtatumia? Kwa hivyo Bernard, ukisema hivi vitu zingine, in as much as unajaribu kupaka rangi kutuwekea hivi na hivi, then nashangaa.
Okay, so Avia, like, sorry, Fabish, when you put it that way about like and he can do whatever he wants qua elections, I sound naive, I sound stupid, and I'm sorry. Like, qua your side, you're right. Like, he looks like the kind of person who will wake up and you will even just like go look for every ballot box and actually make sure that his name is inside, or if there's no name, Kayake is gonna ban that ballot box. Even like, I think, when was it, like, right now there's no the IBC is not constituted, but like the lawyer IBC that they have as draft actually says that they can use mobile, which is like vehicles, as polling stations. And I think if you were to ask me, Fabish, to be very honest, the reason why I'm changing my mind right now and agreeing with you is like 2022 was won because of that. Yeah, I would say they knew exactly how to stuff the ballots, how to make sure that by the time you form in as I knew from 32A, they could publicly like be like, yes, this is beautiful, this is the one that made us. And so they won in the courts. And that is where you're right. Like, the reason why I'm changing my mind is when you said, like, if I want to wear a suit and carry a briefcase, you made me look back. And I'm sorry. I think you're right. Like, that is what's going to happen. And
see even a good example.
Already
see even a good example. Professor Kidure Kindiki.
Yep.
He is supposed to be approved by the IBC. Lakini angalia saizi ni deputy president bila kupitia IBC. Na hakuna kitu
no IBC constituted. Yeah. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
You're right.
Kenya Leaks.
Yes. So anyway, I think it is normal for us to Fabish. It's good to have this kind of banters, because at the end of the day, what we are working for is for the success of our country, because we love our flag, we love our country. But that having been said, we cannot have one man. You know, like that case of Guinea. A government officer who is fucking everybody. All your wives, all your concubines, everybody. Kila kitu ni yake. What is he? Is he man enough? We cannot have that country like that. That is why we are saying we cannot wait and give someone who has shown all tendencies of a dictator. From the time he was an MP after campus, to the time he's been agriculture, time he became a minister, deputy prime minister, I don't know if it was there or not. Until now, the trajectory has been is a one-man army. It is either is your way or you are out. A country ruled by the rule of law is like these spaces. You contribute the way you disagree, but agree. And if you cannot bear, you go out. That is also okay in a democracy. But now you are here in a space whereby we all are saying one thing. We have been sitting in these spaces. Some of us are senior a bit. We have watched dictators. We have experienced different government. Kibaki ruled this country with the same constitution that was later changed to be the 2020 constitution, the new constitution that we have. But he didn't do the blunders he did. But Moi did a lot of madness with the other constitution. So the problem is not only the constitution. The constitution is a perfect document, a very progressive. Of course, it's not totally perfect, but it's a progressive constitution. But the leader of the country can decide to fuck off everybody and run the country as if he's in a different regime. We have seen today is in the judiciary. You have seen what he has done to parliament. You have seen what he has done to the police. You have seen what he has done to DCI. You have seen what he's doing in the army. You have seen what he's doing in the Senate. You have seen what he does in the shuffle. You have seen what he has done in demolishing political parties. That we are saying, if we give him more time, and that has been done in 2 years, if we give him more time, we shall not have a country. That is where the revolution is starting. 11-11. to take any form, any shape to bring this regime down. Those who will go to the street will go to the street. Those who can print posters, please DM Fabish and the host. Any posters you have created, DM or put in the timeline. Put up kwa comments so that we can continue sharing. Share this space. We are saying, go to your village. This revolution will be local. You have a chief who is chewing other people's wife because he's a chief. Yeye anakuja hapo, analetewa kuku, anafanya kesi za mashamba kwa hali ya corruption, deal with that chief there. Kama ni Kazanzeni constituency, Kazanzeni village, jipangeni hapo vijana. Muamke hiyo chief kutoka tarehe 11. Kama ni Moyale, kuna district education officer anafukuzaka watoto, ama principal, make commotion there. Wale tunaenda Nairobi judiciary, tunaenda pale. Tunaweka placard zetu. Wale wa Safaricom, tunaenda Safaricom. Wale wa Safaricom shops, tuende tupeleke petition. Na kusema shop zote za Safaricom hazitauza kutoka hiyo siku. Because wanapeana data yetu. That statement will echo internationally. These are international brand that the Kenyan people have boycotted one of their own company because it has UK interest, 60%, Ruto's interest, and the government of Kenya interest. We will have made a statement. That is the purpose of a popular revolution. It is through boycott, civil unrest, until the country becomes ungovernable, and that way we shall drive Ruto out of the country. We have seen the judiciary. We are planning to see how they are going to rule their Adani cases. But even without that, we already know they are partisan, they are compromised, and we are going to bring justice in Kenya to a standstill until we remove the person who is controlling the judiciary. Alikuja to power. Within a few days, all the cases of all his allies were thrown out. Akawaongezea judiciary pesa. Akawapatia magari makubwa. Akalipa Supreme Court. Saizi amekataa kupeana phase 2. Wameanza kumtishatisha kidogo, anaongezea pesa. That's why he was there today. Akiweko na kesi wanamtisha, wana rule kesi nje yake, anaongezea budget. So we have a problem, patriots. That is a problem we want to address now. We cannot wait for 2022, as it has been said, because you'll see even in election of US, which is one day from now, and US, remember, is his biggest supporter of this government. Alienda huko akalia kiti ya Biden. There's already rumors of rigging in the US electronically. Can you imagine what about Kenya? You've seen what this ambassador is doing. So if they can leak, they can be able to do what is called rigging the election in the US through the systems. What about Kenya? It's pocket change. That is where we're saying we only have one way and one stone to remove Ruto, through a popular uprising, through civil disobedience, through sabotage, through every means you can do to bring the government, and joining the people in the streets, in the spaces, online, and making all the noise to make sure that this government comes down. If you wait and think that this conman will change, who goes to church and talks a different language, when he has never apologized about the killings of our comrades. Yesterday in church, amevaa kilemba ya divai, anawadanganya. Anaanza kusema no, there's a problem with the women being killed. Yet he's participating in those murders. So we are dealing with a conman who has a new project every day, so that anawachanganya walio wengi. Na tunajua Kenya, watu wengi hawana uwezo wa kuwa na hizi gadgets, hawana uwezo wa kusoma gazeti, hata radio na TV. Ni kazi ngumu sana, because people are so poor until they have lost hope. They have started worshipping the oppressor. We are saying this revolution will be driven by few of us who understand the benefit of doing a popular revolution now rather than tomorrow, for the benefit of those who are the majority that do not know what is happening. So we'll carry them. Hata wajinga wetu wa Kenya, na wale ambao wako illiterate, na wale ambao wameumia, na wale ambao hawana pesa, to an extent whereby they don't even know what is happening. Like, tell me, a child in Lodwar, do you think that child can compete fairly in this Kenya, even if he was given the same opportunity? It cannot, because it is already rigged in the beginning. That child in Lodwar, hata ajui yako Kenya, wanaishi kwa msituni, hakuna maji. Hata ukisema kuna SHA ya hao maskini, what SHA is going to help them? Yet hiyo pesa itakuwa inaibiwa hapa Nairobi. The way NHIF maybe. So we're saying the system is rigged. We must do an overhaul, have a fresh start and a fresh beginning. The first thing vile Gachagua ametoa, tumeonyesha very vizuri, tumekomaa kisiasa. Hatukupigana. Those of us from Central Kenya, we have no problem with Gachagua going out. Kiviko Kindiri is a Meru, he's our cousin. Hata wakiweka Mkamba ama weke Mkalenjin for deputy, they're all Kenyans. What you are saying is we cannot have a country where one man can decide today you're in power, tomorrow umetolewa, whether you're elected or not, whether the rules are there or not. That is what you are fighting. And that is what is called impunity. And it points to anarchy. That is why we're saying Ruto must go and we must have a fresh conversation. Lazima we take Kenya back again. Tukishatoa Ruto, we have 90 days, Chief Justice, to hold the Katiba, to take care of the country. We shall deal with the new people. We shall vet the new eligible people from there. But for now, the journey is all of us contribute. Kama uko kwa stage ya makanga, anza kuongelesha wenzako. Kama unafanya ukahaba ama kwa sababu ya mashida, ongelesha wenzako. Tumieni mbinu zetu, zenyu. Toeni suruari, toeni anything. Protest from whatever way you can. Because hata hiyo kazi unafanya, si kwa sababu unapenda. Kama unaweza mogoka, start mobilizing. Vijana wa campus, talk to your fellow student leaders, fellow comrades, start mobilizing. 2024, what can you do? From campus, from without campus. Andikeni posters, talk in WhatsApp, that is how revolutions go. We don't need a central command to start telling you, ati kesho tutafanya hivi, kesho kutwa tutafanya hivi. Anzeni kujipanga kulingana na shida zenyu na udhaifu ambao serikali imewapatia. Don't wait for people to come and tell you, we need a leader. Tumeona ile ujinga iko hapa. Serikali inatafuta huyo kiongozi wenyu, inamnunua. Na serikali iko na pesa nyingi ya kufanya hiyo mambo, ya kununua hata adui zetu. So let us organize locally, mobilize locally. Kila mtu afanye role. Ukichukua mic, please tell us, what are you going to do? Me, I'm planning on how to stop 2 major highways in Kenya. I will not say how, but I have my guns, I have my gangs, my people, my mobilizers to make sure we have a peaceful way to tell other people who want to work, while us in the street, that even them, they can spare a day for the sake of the country. Do your part. Do your contribution. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kenya Leaks. That is the spirit that we need now, a spirit of revolution. There is no losing hope. There is no buying fear. We must persist. We must push. Na hatuwezi kukaa tukiuziwa uoga ama tukinunua uoga wakati tunazidi kunyanyaswa. Now, ile kitu nataka kumwambia William Ruto, I just only have one appeal to make to him. We know now that he's looking for the CS of Interior, and I have a name to suggest for him because your Interior ndio hiyo Kindiki ametoka. I have a name to suggest for him, someone who he can trust, someone who can work very well. Ministry of Interior need to be given to a lady, because for a long time, William Ruto needs to keep on making history in this country. So, and that CS need a lady. I suggest that Charlene Ruto is a qualified Kenyan, and that she's jobless, so she will fit in that position, so that when we are coming to the revolution, we know. Yes. So I appeal that he should consider nominating Charlene Ruto. No need even to go through vetting. She's qualified. She have everything that it takes, and he can trust that Charlene Ruto will deliver as per his wishes. Yeah, go ahead, Xavier.
Thank you. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are tuned from. This is Xavier, the Jeffer himself, Che Guevara spirit. Now, I will start where Fabish, you have stopped by saying, we don't care. He can nominate Sharin Luto as a minister for the CS Interior, make history that the first woman CS for Interior. He can also nominate, can replace Kindiki at will with Oscar Sudi and make it a government of UG. You understand? UG, was in Gishu, but pan intended Uganda, because that's where he's heading. So there's no time. I came in, where do I start now? I came in when Ajoga, Dr. Bishop, those titles, they just show you that Ajoga, I'm not attacking Ajoga, but I'm saying Dr. Bishop Ajoga was discussing as if we are dealing with the same person. I want to start by saying, why are they asking us to be patient? We are already patient. I can do stand up. We are already patient. So how do you ask patients to be patient? Anyway, that shisha thing, we should not tolerate. As a civil servant, as people working, they should take the matter again to court. I know the case about housing levy was won by the government, but we should not agree for our money to be deducted if we cannot get services. Where is NHIF money? First question, before you even come to those before you come to that, account for the money in NHIF and identify the corruption, the roots for corruption, those hospitals who are charging for a simple cesarean section, they charge maybe 500,000, stuff like that. Let's say this, shisha is a scam. Nobody, no Kenyan should support shisha. First, let's go back. That's our demand anyway. Let's go back to NHIF, fix the problem before you transit to any other organization. You cannot leave an organization, not account for the money, and the people, you put them in a new program where they have to start paying, and you start deducting, and they're not getting services. That is nonsense of the highest order. Bernard, I think it is you who was discussing that issue with Ajuoga. We cannot entertain that kind of nonsense. Now, going forward to where Fabich was, we want him to nominate all his sycophants, make it a government of Uganda, be Museveni, where the wife, Janet, runs, I think, 5 ministries, and then defense is run by his son, the military chief now, Kainerugaba. And you know the Kainerugaba means the Avenger. So Museveni named his son the Avenger, that he's come to avenge for him. That's why he wants to hand over power to him. That's what is going on. So Ruto can start by giving this lady Wigi G, giving Wigi G or Wigi C, Charlene, the Wigi lady, wigs. She loves wigs and big headache. Maybe they don't need an airport at Sugoi. Ruto can land on her forehead. Sorry for going personal, but this is how it is. That's how we feel when this guy is mismanaging our country. And then the next point about revolution. We are in agreement now with the likes of Miguna. The only exception Miguna took was that we were saying going for an armed struggle, like Cuba, like, yes, but he's arguing for a Bolshevik kind of. Bolshevik was in Russia and the French Revolution. They did not fight. It was a popular street revolution. And that's what has happened in Bangladesh. That's what happened in this other place, a civilian coup in Senegal. So those should be our role models. That's where we want to go. But because Kenya is unique, we lead the world. By the way, biblically, Mount Kenya is Mount Zion. And the Garden of Eden was where Kenya is today. Don't think that we are in prominence because of nothing. Don't also think that we are not important people in this world. That's why only Kenyan president who agreed to be inducted into the Illuminati by sitting on that chair, and the all-seeing eye saw him, and he already working for Illuminati. Ask yourself, This man 2 years ago, when people elected him, did they expect anything like this? This guy was the deputy Jesus for crying out loud. Now he has become the real devil. He is actually the devil incarnate. In fact, I don't see Wakuraya here. I want him to make the devil incarnate in the next program he'll do. Give him the horns and everything, the butcher of Sugoi, because he just is craving for blood. And that is why we are saying our people go demonstrate from your local area, like Fabish was saying. Go to that chief who is asking for bribes. That chief who is, pardon me for saying, that is taking, is sleeping with all people's women there, especially people who are abroad and people who are working away from the location. The chief is always doing that. And I know this how. My great-grandfather was a chief during my Mau time. He ended up with 42 wives. It's on Google. You can search. Senior Chief Njiri Karanja. You know? And personally, I'm trying to appease because we are considered collaborators with the colonialists. Me, I want to move to the Mau Mau side. Yeah? I want to appease on behalf of Kenyans. We are the people, my family is the people who handed Legiko to Kenyatta. And that's how we got a conman in office. The conman number one, Jomo Kenyatta. Conman number two, Moi. But Moi became conman after 10 years. He ran a very good government for 10 years until the time he put Saitoti in abeyance for 14 months. That's when the rain started beating Moi, and he became now a dictator from there going forward to the end of his leadership. But he even he showed a very magnanimous spirit. Moi was acting out of ignorance. Ruto is acting out of arrogance. And we have, as Mr. The guy who just spoke before me, he was saying, this guy has all the hallmarks of a dictator. And now he's in the school of Museveni. So that's why he's asking for 7 years. Don't think that Cherargei is just talking. Cherargei is a mole. He pretends like he's with the people, but he knows which agenda they are pushing. Anyway, this we have to continue with the spirit of the movement. So I was saying, Miguna has suggested we should go for a popular revolution, like in Bangladesh, or even a civilian coup like the one in Senegal. But armed, he says he doesn't want to be part of it. And I can understand. So for good measure, I agreed with him in that space where he said that the minute I mentioned that we are going for an armed struggle, he says, I have to correct that. I never said that. I never intend us to do that. It's popular revolution. So basically, we have to put pressure everywhere. Occupy everywhere. Occupy those churches. I think we said yesterday. Go to those churches on next Sunday. 11/11 is when? Is the next week? So this Sunday, start occupying those churches. Go to the Catholic Church. Go to the CPK. Go to these big churches, especially the traditional churches where we have big masses. Go there. Ask to sing a song. And your song should be a nationalistic song. And eventually, you should inject and tell the church, you sold us out, but you have a chance now to kick this man out with us, like the Enjoyers did, like all these other church leaders did, because we have no parliament. There is no parliament of Kenya. It was impeached first by the Gen Zs. Two, it was discredited by people being shot there. Three, we are demanding the dissolution of parliament in line with what advisory to Kenyatta, which still stands, of the parliament not meeting the two-third gender rule. So therefore, we have no parliament. It's a group of pigs. And that's why they eat anything. They have accepted themselves. They were paid 500,000 each inducement to vote out Gachagua. And some are even saying, even governors out there, senators, they are saying they were paid billions of money. Karongo Zango, I can mention him. He says he has never seen that kind of money. A boot was opened and he was shown money he has never seen with his own eyes. But he still went and voted no. So what are we saying? Basically, that Kenya is a crime scene and we cannot continue treating Ruto as if he is president. He is an illegal occupier of State House. The time for him to go is now. Okay? We cannot come here to entertain shisha, I don't know, people are paying. No, there's no time for that debate. It is in our demand that we go back to NHIF, fix NHIF before you transition to anything else. And you have to do a pilot. You cannot bring a program that is the whole country. You have to do a pilot. That's the way things are done. You don't just say everybody transition. No, do a pilot with a few districts, a few areas, a few hospitals, and see how it works. You cannot tell us that you are going to implement something and now people are not getting services today and they're still being deducted. Kenyan people, go on strike. Go on strike. Let's bring this the government down. Occupy everywhere. Those offices of the Ministry of Health, the offices of the Ministry of Agriculture, because of them bringing that nonsense agriculture bills. Let's go occupy those places. Occupy everywhere. That is the thing for 11-11. Kila mahali. Alete hiyo askari wake 10,000, 1,100 wote. Hawataweza 1 million Kenyans, wherever they are. And that is a popular revolution. This guy can fall faster than we are even imagining. Thank you. I think I'll stop at that point, Fabish.
Thank you.
That's what we want.
Thank you, Xavier. Let's go to the lady. Yes, Nancy.
Hello guys, thank you Fabish. Mimi nilikuwa nataka kusema tu hivi, msiniattack please, this is my opinion. Nani mwenye alikuwa anapigia nduru sana hii serikali? Miguna is the one who did it. Alafu anasema ati twende street na yeye hayuko hapa. Let him come. Yeah, let him come here first, then we follow him. He likes making a lot of noise and he's not here. He's with his family in Canada. You know? Let him come here first.
I'm also with my family in Canada. Are you going to kick me out because of that? I'm also with my family in Canada.
No, I'm not gonna kick you out. Even me, I'm in Australia anyway. But Mguna, yani, he's been like that. Don't make too much noise and you're far. Even me, I've been advocating for
Nancy.
Yeah.
First, allow me to interject this way. Personally, fighting for revolution need all hands on deck. Miguna, we have seen him before. Those who have lived even before us know that when Miguna was in the country, he was not shy away to fight when the right time came to fight. We have seen him fighting, going to the streets. We saw him leading the NRM. So, and even fought during a Moi regime. The reason why Miguna was expelled out of the country and went to exile, it is because of fighting the regime. So now, someone that we have already tested him, and he has proved to be a hard nut to crack by most of the regime. Now that he had predicaments that it was not his making and go out there, we cannot say that that is wrong, what he's doing. Miguna, we know his spirit. When he's in the country, everybody knows his presence. And by saying that he supported this regime, he's not the only one that voted for William Ruto. Most of us here, we voted for him. So, but it was a mistake. So it is not only Miguna votes that make him Ruto to be president today. So I think we cannot go that direction, Nancy, and start accusing someone. Then we have Kenyans who are in abroad that they have been very useful for revolution. And even in many revolutions, they are always even supported largely by the citizens who are in abroad, because those people who are in abroad, number one, they are safe. They provide the technical assistance. They provide even, the tacticals. They provide even with the knowledge, with the experience that they see in abroad, with information, and also they provide the resources. So, Nancy, kindly just understand that.
Fabish, before Nancy comes back, let's give her a chance to explain what she's saying. But let no speaker start by kind of criticizing what the other person said. Give your ideas for the movement, and then you can come to criticism at the end. But if you start like counteracting the previous speaker, it becomes like, you see, like I did not really attack a joke. I just said that we cannot afford to be talking like there's a government in place, that Shisha is transitioning this way. We know all these stories. What we want here is the way forward. So anyway, Nancy can have her space. Let's not gag her. Let us not come out as people who are gagging people's opinion. But that Miguna line she's going to, I think it's a little bit sensitive. And but she can go ahead. That's what I could say.
Okay, let me go ahead. Yeah, let me go ahead. Me, I support Morara. I can't even lie. I still believe in him. I always go to some forums on TikTok, and they were like, "Oh, Morara can do it alone." I told them, "No, he cannot. We need guns. We need to do guns. We need, But them, they're not for the idea. I'm for idea of guns and all this. Malek Nezatoa anywhere. But me, Muguna, me, even if I come to Kenya, I don't have followers. No one knows me. But if Muguna comes to Kenya, he has people who will know him. He can come. Atuambie, aambie watu kuja wakuje. But
Nancy,
mbona he wants to be...
Nancy, Miguna was kicked out of Kenya, number one. Number two, his support. Let me just help you. Number two, as Fabish has explained to you, Miguna has been a revolutionary since 1987, when he was kicked out of University of Nairobi because of something that was going on at that time. Miguna has been a revolutionary. You have been told how he sworn in Baba, and in fact, was supposed to be arrested. Only that Uhuru was a gentleman. He decided to exile him instead, because Miguna would have brought the government down by himself. Had they not expelled him, we would be having a different Kenya. But he has a life. He has a life. So by you trying to say that Miguna is enjoying here, I'm here with Miguna, I meet him daily. Miguna is my neighbor here. So are you going to say that all us people who are in the West Country, and you yourself said you are in Australia? So let's not split hairs here. Miguna has said, with good reason, and I accepted it, that we are not in a position to do a military intervention. Because look at what has happened in West Africa. It is the military themselves. Where are we going to get guns enough to fight the government? I'm not saying it cannot be done, but that will take time. So let's try this route first of popular revolution, which has worked in Bangladesh. It has worked. Do you know the Bangladeshi campaign started in 2018? It was not a new thing. They had tried in 2018, things went down, and then later, Kenya, the Gen Z, were the one who energized them to start their revolution, which succeeded. So it's a long haul. It's not going to be tomorrow, but it could be tomorrow if we act right. But fighting among ourselves is not going to help. By the way, nobody can contradict Miguna's revolutionary tendency. So please stay away from Miguna, for my sake. Talk about other people.
I'll stay away from him. I'll stay away from him.
Yes.
But even me, I support Morara, because even him is doing something. We are all on the same route.
Yeah, even Morara is a good kid.
Yeah. Okay, we all work together as long as we're doing the same thing.
No.
But
No. Let me put clear to you, both of you, Sevi and Nancy. First, we cannot go in that direction of personalities. We are not supporting Miguna, and we don't have anything to do with Miguna. But Miguna is coming to be part of the team. So it is not saying that I support. Miguna doesn't want to be president. And if he chose tomorrow that he wants to be president, or he wants to be the leader of the movement, personally, I will stay away from him. But what I'm saying is, Miguna is part of the revolution. Okay? So it is not that now we are coming about personalities. This is versus that. We are not into that. We said we will remain to be steadfast, we will remain to be tribeless, we will remain to be partyless, and we will remain to be leaderless. So we cannot agree to have that kind of conversation of this one versus that one. The reason why even the movement was derailed is when some people start personalizing Morara, that is the leader of the movement. And when he lacked ideas, or when he's tempted, or when he's conflicted, then the old movement is derailed. I know he's a human being. Everybody can have that. That is why we are saying that we cannot be about personality. When we started the movement of Change Kenya, we were not looking for position for anyone. The movement that we are talking is to remove the rogue regime. When the time of positions come, that who will take what, who will take this, who will take that, that will be another agenda, that will be another platform, that will be another conversation. So for now, it is not a matter of who. I'm not fighting because of Miguna. I'm fighting because of my country, because of me, myself, to enjoy the better country, and my children to enjoy the better country. The fight for this movement is personal. It is not about anyone. So that kind of conversation of personalities is what we will never entertain in the movement. And if we entertain that, we are finished, we are done. And that is what we are saying. That is why when William Ruto was trying to call the Gen Z movement to go and have discussion at the table, people rejected, saying, no, we don't have anything to discuss. What we just want you to do is implement and respect the Constitution, because that is what we are asking you to do. We are not asking you to call us to sit on the round table and start sharing positions. William Ruto can call us today and said, okay, what you people need, I can give you 3 positions. Take these CS for security, take for finance, but those are only 3 positions for 3 individuals. But what we are advocating is for equity and equality for every Kenyan to enjoy. We say that when we remove the rogue government, when we have a better government, when we remove all this system, we have drained the swamp. It doesn't matter who becomes president. Even if we go and import a robot in Japan to come and stay in that state house, we don't care. As long as everything is running according to how we wished it to be. So, tafadhali usikuje hapa kutuambia kwamba I'm pro Morara, I'm pro Miguna. No. Everybody here is a leader. And that is why we are taking our personal responsibilities to fight. What I always advocate here is that we should always remain leaderless. Morara is part of the movement. That is okay. He should fight as part of the movement. But he cannot be anyone's leader. We don't have a leader. A leader is ideologies, a collective ideologies that we have, and the problems that we have identified that we need to root out. That is what is driving the movement. Thank you.
Oh my God. Fabish.
Fabish,
Fabio, go ahead.
Not guided, but maybe let's give Nancy a chance to complete, because I will not speak myself. I stand guided. No personalities. We are talking about ideology, and the ideology I was discussing was, are we going popular or civil revolt or armed struggle? That's all point I was trying to introduce, not personalities. Thank you.
Okay, me, I was pro armed struggle, That's why I always go to those platforms on TikTok. They're like, no, we can't go that way. Those platforms are for Morara. Me always like, no, we can't. Morara cannot do it. We need arms. We need to go. We know the way Ruto is ruthless. We can't just do it like this. We need arms. We need to be revolutionary. We need arms. Because our they come with arms. There's no need mtakuja tu hapa kidogo exposing program nini. No. Na unaona nini hizi leader nini hizi tribal things zimerise. We are really in a bad place. We just need arms. Because even if you bring kina Eugenes, they won't do anything. They're fighting among themselves. They're not fighting for us. So me, I'm just like pro unity. I'm not even pro anyone. But I just don't like the way Miguna anasema ati Morara is a goon or is a, we just don't need that one. As long as ours is Ruto must go. Me, Male, I fell out with Muguna is Bilalianza to attack Morara, but we don't need to attack each other.
No,
Nyinyi
unajua
hamjasikia.
Nancy, Nancy, ile kitu iko, when you are in a movement, even me, Fabish, even you, Nancy, you are not immune from attack. You are a human being. You are not complete. So anywhere that you go wrong, all of us, we supported Morara from beginning. But when he lost the track, we must call him out. It is not an attack. And yes, it can be attack. And for you to understand yourself and come back to your senses. Morara, when it reached a point, wakati aliwacha kukua consultative and he think that he can plan things by his own. That is when you lose the focus. I give you an example. When we said we were going to Uhuru Park, 10 days we are planned for Uhuru Park. Only for 3 days to the Uhuru Park, anakuja anatuambia Narok, of which it did not need a rocket science to understand that there is a script going on here. Why do you want to divert the attention of the movement? And he came to the space, and everyone was telling him, stop. Let's go. And start giving flimsy excuses. Yeah, I don't know who is funding that Uhuru Park. I don't know, my life, my security. Then we begin asking, what do you mean? Is your life more important than ours? Is your life more important than those, our generals, that they lost their lives? So in a movement, Miguna, yes, even himself, he has received several attacks. And even me, any time that he loses his focus, I will attack him. So when you are already in the movement, you must always be ready to receive friendly attack and any other attack. But if you think that you want to come and have the monopoly and then to be massaged, to be pacified, to be babysitted, you cannot be a revolutionarist. So, and we cannot just say, because the reason why tunasema ni kuwa, we cannot again follow someone blindly. The reason why we are where we are ni sababu wakati tulikuja tukauziwa wheelbarrow, we were blinded. Tukaambiwa hustler, we were blinded. Tukaambiwa bottom up, we were blinded. And we followed blindly. And that is where we are today. We cannot continue repeating, entering the same hole every now and then. Hata punda hizi kuingia shimo mara mbili, anaingia moja anakumbuka. But we cannot stay always having that mistake. And that is why we are led kwamba kwanza tukae leaderless. So wewe kama Morara is part of the movement, akiplay civic education, of which siye peke yake, kuna watu wengi. Kuna jamaa moja huwa anafanya civic education kwa mabasi, akihop from this bus to the other bus. Hata kuna mtu anamjua huyo jamaa, is not even in a limelight. Lakini akwambia ile kazi anafanya, but nobody is focusing on him. That guy, he have never asked even for 1 single cent from any Kenyan to do that civic education. But I tell you, he's doing from morning to night, hopping from one bus to another. I don't even know how he managed to pay the fare of those buses. I don't know whether you already give civic education to the drivers and conductors to an extent that they are not charging him anymore. He's doing a very tremendous work. And many other Kenyans, that they are doing the same civic education, educating our people in society. So it doesn't mean kwamba when you are taking one part, even us online here, we are doing mobilization and also we are educating ourselves. And tunaweza kukaa hata usiku mzima, we sacrifice a lot. So no one is better than the other one in this revolution. Even when Nancy, kukuja hapa kwa space peke yake, I mean, kuna vitu nyingi ungeweza kufanya productive to your own personal life, lakini umeziacha. Ukasema nataka kuja space kuparticipate, tukitafuta solution Kenya. Now, even you are giving us a very nice solutions, even for revolution, of which I cannot dispute. Personally, even me, that is one way that I would want to choose. Lakini, tunasema kwamba because this is the beginning of revolution, tunaweza kataa saizi vile Nancy anasema, lakini maybe in 2 months time, tutasema hapana, we will go Nancy way. So this is your option. Haiwezi kuwa tu kwamba ati tutaitupilia mbali. It is also part of option katika revolution. Yes, at some point tunaweza kufinywa sana, tukasema now, wacha kama ni kuharibika, kiharibike, let's go that way. Tuanze kutafuta allies kutoka nje ambao wanaweza kutusupply na ammunition. It is very much possible. Tunaweza kutafuta enemies wa our regime. We can go for countries ambao tunajua kwamba they have rubbed shoulders. We can pacify countries. Tunaweza kuongea na Russia, tunaweza kuongea na China, tunaweza kuongea na you know, other countries. Na wakaanza kusupply. That is how revolution works in other countries. But for now, tunasema let's focus katika popular revolution huku tukiendelea kuangalia. So kama wewe unataka kukaa revolution na utaki kukua attacked, kukua criticized, bado hujakuwa na that spirit. You need to sit down, uamue kufanya kwanza kazi yako private. Ukikuwa tayari unakuja. Wacha saizi ambao unakuwa attacked na maneno. Watu sasa wale ambao wanakuwa attacked physically. Bado sisi ambao tumeanza revolution wote, akina Miguna, akina Sisi, akina Morara, no one is guaranteed kwamba hata tutafika kule tunaenda tujue nani kiongozi. We might not even reach that level hata kuchaguliwa. We might be eliminated along the way. That is one thing that we should know. That is one thing Morara should understand. Miguna should understand. Fabish, Xavier, Bernard, Nancy should understand. Hawa ambao tunaanza revolution pamoja, si wote ndio tutamaliza. There are those that will be eliminated along the way. There are those that they will fatigue. There are those that they will be compromised. That is how revolution works. Hakuna revolution watu washaanza wote na wakamaliza wote. It can never work. Kwa hivyo hiyo attack ni kitu ya kawaida, and even me myself, wacha Miguna, mimi nimekuwa katika hii space niki-attack Morara, and mpaka leo bado Morara personally hajani satisfy kwamba anapigania kweli revolution, because according to his conduct, hivi tunaongea leo Keutia kwa Kiambu anafanya civic education is not different from Morara. Hivi tunaongea kuna watu wengine wako Homa Bay wanafanya civic education. They are part of the movement. They are giving report to the movement. Hivi tunaongea kuna watu wako kwa mabasi wanazunguka wanafanya civic education. So why would your own be different? Why would you like to attract attention? Sasa kuna watu ambao nimesema wameingia kwa movement with different agendas. There are those that they came for content creation. There are those that they came to look for numbers. There are those that they came to look for fame. And there are genuine organic people that they came to push the movement. Remember Eric Omondi. He has been doing tremendous work and he's still part of the revolution. Doing civic education. Akaanza hata sisi kwa sisi, where people contribute and give direct solution to those poor Kenyans ambao wanahitaji usaidizi instantly. But even we are not focusing on that. You cannot tell me that Morara amefanya kazi kubwa kuliko Eric Omondi. But even we are not highlighting Eric Omondi. So ile kitu iko ni kuwa no one should feel more special than others. This is a movement that need collective energy, collective voices, and collective intellectuals. Thank you. Yeah, let's go to the yes, Nancy. Then we go to the new speaker, Papa.
It's okay. I've had your pain. I think you guys, you were traumatized because you voted for Ruto, which I did not. But when niliwaambia sana, don't vote for that guy. They voted for him. Wanakuja online kuniomba pesa sahi, naambia sikupei. Nilikuambia usivotie Ruto. Anyway, I feel your pain. So I'm just for Ruto must go.
Anyway, it is okay because I'm not saying that we voted for Ruto. You don't know who I voted for. But even if you did not vote for Ruto, what was the other option? I want to, even if you did not vote for Ruto, tell me, was the other option okay? So sometimes, in fact, even if you voted for Ruto, forgive yourself, have peace with yourself. Just look the other option. What was your option if it was not Ruto? And tell me if it could have been better. So even if you voted for Ruto or you voted for whoever you voted, just forgive yourself.
Wajakoya was a better option.
Okay.
Let's go
okay,
to
Papa. Yeah,
Papa. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Fabish, for the space and all the listeners. Yeah, as Xavier said, actually, Wajakoya was the option, but many of us never took him very serious.
Where is Wajakoya now? What is he doing about the movement? Before you say it was better, where is he now? What is he doing now?
The last time I heard from him, alisema anajipanga anakuja, so sijui ametubebea nini, lakini yuko anakuja, so let's
Watu
give him time
anauawa,
and see.
watu anauawa, anajipanga anakuja, watu wapigane ndio akuja sasa aseme nimekuja. Come on, let's be smart more than this man.
Okay. That was aside, Fabish. Minus this, I wanted to say something about the civic education that some of our comrades are carrying across. Are we able to evaluate its effect? Somehow I'm becoming a bit skeptic on the much it can achieve, considering that the political wave is always strong, always very strong, that sometimes it's a bit hard to be countered by any force, because these are the guys who will come with all manners of propaganda, dishing out money, and being the Kenyans we are, we always follow the wave. For example, juzi watu wana line up kwenda kushangilia the swearing on of this soprano man. I felt so bad, and especially in Nairobi, where people have died on that same street, people lining up kwenda kumshangilia, whether they were bought or not. It wasn't supposed to be that way. So that's how gullible we are. Now, I would like us to do an evaluation and see if it really has that big effect in what we want to achieve, or we just decide the way we are talking, tumwe twende tu kwa streets, then mambo ya kuongea 2027 hiyo tuliachana nayo. We have nothing like 2027. Let us plan properly for it. 11/11 is on Monday. So beginning today, we have like around 6 days remaining. The kind of mobilization, are we doing enough? Itafika ama tena ikue kama 8 or any other day that we have planned for protests, things turn upside down for us. We really need to have a good strategy if we really want to make it happen. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, Apana.
Can I comment something?
Yeah, sure. Great. Yeah, great.
Yes, I happen not to know who is speaking, but your voice is very familiar. And I want to just say one thing about project management theory, is that first you plan by doing a SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Then you do implementation, and then monitoring before you do evaluation. In other words, this is not time to evaluate. This is time for implementation. If you start evaluating this early, you might consider data. You might not consider the entire data you need. So for me, I think civic education is good. There's one wing should continue with civic education, and the other wing will continue with the popular revolution, and the next wing will be an external arm, external diaspora, continue with the fundraising and stuff, and then we shall do evaluation when we reach that stage. It's not time for evaluation because we could lie to ourselves it is not having impact, but I know really those are the people with impact, especially the people who are going mashinani, not online, in the buses, in the church, in these places. This is quite effective, but we cannot say definitively. So we have to wait and do monitoring. What you should be asking for is monitoring, not evaluation. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to add to that. I think Papa have a point there that need to be noted, because that is what I've been also asking. That is what I've been questioning, because the civic education need to be well structured in a way there will be monitoring and evaluation, so that we can know the impact that it is creating, not just only to be doing, an ending circle of civic education. And that is why even yesterday when I'm talking to KOT and he's going to Kiambu, I told him, listen, now go and tell people of Kiambu, after you are finished with civic education, 1111 will be an evaluation point. We want to know whether this civic education has really impacted people so that people can come out and voice out. So in fact, 1111 is one of the starting of evaluation, so that now the people that will come out on 1111, we can be able to evaluate. Are they really now understanding what is ailing the country? So yes, evaluation time to time is very, very important, because so that at least we know the impact of this work that we are doing. Papa, yeah, it's very important. And that's I keep on asking. Even Morara, since he started the civic education, but there is no evaluation. There is no more, even that monitoring. It is not there, because look, some people then they will say we keep criticizing, but this is like you go, you highlight the failed projects, then now you need to go, because actually what Morara is doing is not even civic education as such. It is what we call vampire diaries. That is only exposing the failed projects. Someone that is doing civic education on the ground is KOT, because KOT is not going to expose projects. KOT, he take that education to the ground. But Morara is only to highlight the failed projects. People should understand what it means, civic education, and who is doing civic education. So I'm not saying it's only KOT, but of course, in the space what we know is KOT, but there are also other people like that guy I told you is doing civic education in the buses. He hopped from one bus to another, giving civic education. Then, in that civic education, or even as they are doing like even Morar, suppose when you already highlight, then you tell people, see, now, as we have told you about this failed project, hii ilikuwa ni ya milioni 200. Now do this. Nendeni kwa county commissioner, waulizeni hizi pesa zilienda wapi, because county commissioner should have these answers. Nendeni kwa sub county commissioner, ask what happened to this road, what happened to this hospital, what happened to this government project that was launched and it's stalled. That county, sub-county commissioners should be able to provide those answers. So go there, waulizeni maswali, video them, let them give the answers. Wakiwaambia next week, murudi answer, murudi tena. Sasa ingekuwa society wanafundishwa hivyo, how to deal. Hiyo sasa ndio inakuwa well evaluated and tunaona kwamba inaleta impact. But when we just go and just read like a newspaper and we leave, it will not bring that impact. Yeah, thank you. Before we go to Philip.
Yeah. Philip, go ahead. But before Philip, you go, Fabish, like I agree with you, and there's something I just wanted to like really emphasize, and it's one of the things that me and you disagreed on earlier, which is about like when is the revolution going to happen. And I think for me, the more and more I listen to you and Javier, the more I actually understand like what some of the things that Global Working was actually trying to address, which is like how do we push the things that Fabish you are angry about, things that Javier you're angry about, things that Papa you're angry about. How do we push them to the people when you actually at the end of the day they are the ones who can either vote or they're the ones who can actually be like, today I am not going to work, I am not going to sitaenda kukama ng'ombe, sitaenda kutibu watu, sitaenda kufanya nini, nitaamka, I want nini my matatu or my Uber, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be angry. And I think for me part of that whole situation is the fact that look, we have been lied to for a very long time. And I think part of the reason why people don't really get angry is because like no one really knows where to begin from. And it's so difficult to actually tell someone, okay, get angry, go do something, when they don't really even know like what's gonna come out of it at the end of the day, because like they have seen other people dying, yeah, they have seen they've seen other people's business being destroyed, yeah, and so they wonder like, okay, so if I wake up today and if I, you know, if I go and protest, yeah, like will I lose my bread, yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that we forget as a population, yeah, is that one of the biggest tool that our government has is a tool of oppression, yeah, and that a lot of people depend on the system actually being perpetuated. They depend on the police. Ukikutana nao polisi, yeah, if you run a liquor store, if you run what do you call, if you run a mama mboga stall, yeah, huku penye tunaishi sisi, like in Thika Road, yeah, in Nairobi, yeah, you need to pay a bunch of these people once in a month, yeah, and so you cannot just wake up and say the system, I'm gonna do this and that, yeah. You can just wake up and leave everything, yeah, because the system at the end of the day is oppressing you. Oppress to the point in, yeah, like you're even tired, yeah. Like people wake up at 4 a.m., yeah, just to be able to go and nitafute hiyo nyanya nikuje niuze, because like 10 out of the 30 days I'm gonna sell my tomatoes, yeah, are the ones that I'm gonna pay the police, KRA, if I even know what KRA is, and Nairobi Municipal Council, yeah. In addition to that, now that's where now I can even talk about like having a profit, being able to take my kids to school, yeah. So like I think like I buy this story of a revolution. I buy this story by the Fabricia. This is what we disagreed on earlier. Like Mina Kubalena, like let's wake up, let's be angry, but like let's also remember those people who cannot be angry, yeah, like who do not even know that they can be angry, yeah. And when I kept like trying to point back at global, yeah, huyo msee mwenye alisema ai leo nimekuja hapa and I've learned a lot, yeah, and I've learned a lot that I didn't even know. Yeah, and I wonder and I wish, how could I take this information back home or back to the people where I come from? Yeah, I think unique like we sometimes forget, and we need to remember that. And those are the masses who vote. Yeah, as a country, like we are a country of like, shit. Those are rich people like passing by, for example, with their Ferraris right now. But look, we are a country, yeah, of majority poor people. Yeah, we're a country of majority uneducated poor people, and we are a country of like majority women. Yeah, and for example, yeah, where I stay, there are days when you wake up. I don't have to go to work early because sometimes I work at night. Yeah, and you observe like at the estate, yeah, where I stay, and there are a bunch of women who are just sitting there on the balconies. And I see balconies are like, rich places of like Runda, no, of Thika Road where I stay. Yeah. And you sit there and you observe these are young women, yeah, mermaids, who have completely lost any hope of even ever being, anything. Yeah. Of ever being what? Like a secretary, a teacher, or anything, or even getting an education, yeah. Because even if they finish high school, they're being told, okay, go stay with your whatever in Nairobi, go be a maid, and we will take it from there. And that is poverty, yeah. That is where poverty is pushing us from Muko Mashinani. And let's not lose that, yeah. And whenever we talk about this revolution that we are talking about, like it is good. It's good for us to actually push it. Let's be angry, yeah. But at the end of the day, let's not forget that even the people who are mostly struggling, they're the ones who probably are looking and being like, come on, like, nakula leo. You really want me
Angalia
to
Bernard.
Okay,
Unajua,
go ahead.
ngoja
I'm challenging you.
ngoja, nyamaza tu. You know, I'm struggling to get where you are going, and I know many people are struggling because you keep on revolving. That yes, let's push for this revolution, but at the end of the day, kuna watu, they cannot, I know, put food on the table. Why are we revolting? Je, tunapigania sababu kwamba we are comfortable because we are rich? In fact, those people that you are mentioning now, those are the ones supposed to be in the forefront. The reason why many Kenyans have been complaining when walikuwa nasema the people in the middle class wao ndio wamekuwa kituza, they are not going to vote. But now when the middle class people want to come out, then wale wengine wanakuja wanasema, oh, unajua at the end of the day hata tukasema revolution, we are struggling, hatuna kitu ya kula. And yet wakati sasa wale ambao mlikuwa mnawalaumu kwamba wakuji kuvote wanakuja wanasema, okay, now we are here, let's go. So, you know, let's not be pessimist, because I see you are struggling. I know. I can surely tell you are struggling to catch up with us, but your heart is still heavy, you know. But I tell you, revolution is the only way, whether you want to agree or no. You are my co-host, and I like talking the truth. I can feel your heart is heavy when we talk of. That is why you are trying in as much as to look like you are with us, but something is still, you know, fighting you inside. So you will just decide to be on one side. Yeah.
No, actually, Javier, before you go.
That's what I say. There is no sitting in the fence. You just either decide to be with the revolution fully or in a way. Yeah. Let's see.
Exactly.
Let's see. I'm Savior.
No. Yeah, before you go to Javier, like just to complete my story, yeah, like on the like on the other side. So I live on Thika Road, Kaha West, which is like literally like on this other side of Thika Road. But like during the Gen Z protest, people walked from Thika to Nairobi 40 kilometers. They walked home and back. And so, like Fabich, you have a point. You have a point. Me, as a person who is like, you know, yes, I have that privilege, and you have that privilege of actually making a change. Like these people actually are the ones who actually walked. I watched them being shot up on Githurai, and it's still traumatizing up to today. But yes, you're absolutely right, by the way. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think I was just trying to bring a different perspective that, you know, sometimes some of us can be a bit complacent. But people walked 80 kilometers. Javier.
Bernard, I understand you, and I'm with you and with Fabish. So I'm like in a middle line here, because they say even a clock that is wrong has stopped is right twice in a day. So I listened yesterday to a space with my nemesis, Kibe, is doing something in Kenya, like a 47 county bike ride. And so somebody asked him, what did you notice? He said, oh, you know what? People in the rural areas are living their life. It's like nothing happened. They are very comfortable. They are living their life. It is only in the cities and suburbs of Nairobi that the agitation is palpable. In other words, there's a big population, I agree with you, Bernard, that is not concerned here. But you know what? There's something called the Stockholm Syndrome. Once you a captor or you have been abducted or put in isolation, you start loving your abuser. It's something known with refugees, people abducted, and people like that. So we have to also be wary about that. Finally, I want to say, somebody mentioned here that Kenya is a country of 50 billionaires and 50 million poor. That is indeed the problem. Otherwise, Kenya, we have enough resources if we could share it equitably. And that's why we are saying, yesterday we were discussing, which kind of party would we like to join? It has to have socialist, almost communist values. I think that's what I just wanted to chip in there. So we understand you, Bernard. People really have gone into a state of stupor. They are used now to the abuse. They don't know which way to go. They are saying, you guys online, go ahead and agitate. We are living our lives. Anyway, how can we defeat this? That should be the question. Ni kwenda mashinani And so the people who are going to Mashinani and doing real demonstration of how your problem is related to Ruto, those are doing a great service. Thank you. I'm done, Fabish. Thank you.
Thank you, Javier, and thank you for agreeing with me. And then I think
maybe I can add something, Fabish. As we are talking here, guys, we're doing very well. Ruto is trembling, he's confused, he's made suicidal mistakes. We started very well. Gen Z started very well. We didn't make it, but we are making good progress. I want to encourage all of you here. We are making great progress. We must continue the fight. 11/11 is on Monday next week. We should be here talking about what are we going to do individually. We know the problem of the dictator. We know the murders. We know the maiming. We know the oppression. We know Ruto is outside the constitution. We are not going to play anymore within the constitution. We shall have a mix of fair and rough play. If he plays rough, we play rough. He has already said the police are not abducting people. The people who are coming with masks are not police. We shall deal with them as criminals. Guys, carry anything that you can use to protect yourself. Carry a knife, a small knife, a nail cutter, carry sprays, pepper spray, carry your own shit or some shit of a cow or goats, anything. If someone goes to attack you, don't go and give up and wait to be picked. Throw back whatever you have, rotten egg. Women come with whatever you can come with, whether they are real tampons or fake blood or with tomato sauce. Use any means possible to fight abductors off. Don't go there and wait to be abducted or to be arrested. We are saying 11/11 is a new chapter. We are going to revolt against the government. Popular uprising. We are allowed to picket, protest. Safaricom has been sharing your data. Is 60% Vodafone or Britain. A sympathizer with this regime. 30% of government. Another percentage of Ruto and his cronies. Ruto owns Hustler Fund through Safaricom arrangement. So protest. Yeah, those who can take loans with fake numbers from Safaricom and not be paid, do it. Do anything that can be able to. If you have a local chief that is demanding bribes and what, organize 10 of you, wear masks, go to the chief and protest in your local village. We must outstretch the police. We must outstretch the spaces of security. We know there are some security officers who are very, very much with us. Please share with us. Share here at Kenya Leaks. How we shall remain, I shall give you identity, very, very anonymous. Share, give us. That is another way of protesting and sabotaging. Those of you working in government, NSIS, intelligence, share with us, share with the host, share with us anonymously. Any information of some corrupt dealing or anything that is happening within the regime. The policemen, I beseech you, intelligence officer, sabotage the system, because this system is killing your own brothers and sisters. I implore you to join the movement directly or indirectly. You don't have to go to the street if you're not able to. If you're out of the country, please support people with idea. You can design a poster. You can do something. You can support people who are with FAIR directly or through the host or other people. Do anything you can do. But from 11/11, we are charting a new path. We are no longer going to be peaceful. We are going to have aura for aura. They come as abductors, we shall abduct them, we shall immobilize them, and we shall arrest them and take them to police stations or neutralize them. So guys, we is no longer joking. Revolution is not a joking business. Otherwise, prepare to be a slave, where they shall muzzle your mind, muzzle your mouth, you'll not be able to talk. Those who will talk will be suppressed. Those who be able to come through the political channel of parties will be detained, the election will be stolen, and nothing will change. This is a very, very brutal regime. It must be brought to a halt before it gets the root. So guys, 11-11, Ruto must go, and that is the spirit. And we are doing very well. We are taking him down. We don't need millions and millions. Do your part. Get 11 people. Make sure you are contacting 11 people within your circle. Give them the ideas. Hear the idea. Let them do something wherever they are. That is how we shall stretch Ruto and his system thin, and we shall achieve full liberty, and we shall enjoy a beautiful country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is the spirit of revolution, yes. We are saying it is a popular revolution, yes, but we will try to be peaceful, yes, but we cannot allow when we are attacked to just keep quiet. We are not starting the attack, but if we are attacked, we will never keep quiet. The Subaru boys, if they keep on loitering around and looking for us, we will always find a way to look for them. Never allow anyone to be abducted in your presence. Make commotion, throw objects on that car, throw stones, throw everything until you make sure that no one is abducted.
Yeah, go for the tires too. Take out the freaking tires if they can't drive away. They ain't got no buttons.
Yes. Yeah.
Hold on. Before Mataya, you speak.
Hey, hold on. So, Philip needs to go.
I just wanted to ask a question to Lyson. Lyson.
Sorry, like who is that?
To Kenya Leaks. Are you Lyson? I'm getting confused.
No, I'm not. I'm Kenya Leaks.
It's Kenya Leaks.
Different from Lyson. Okay, you
Yeah.
speak almost the same.
So please give the leakages. Bring any leakages you have. We shall be able to bring the tyrant down. We don't millions of people, just few committed people who will go to the bush. Our bush is the spaces now. It's no longer going to Mount Kenya, Mount Elgon, or some jungle. Our bush is in the clouds. Let's organize here and organize behind the tents and cause the revolution. Revolution is coming. We shall only talk about who will be our leader, depending on the effort you have put in this revolution. Not because you are known before. Anybody can be anything after this revolution. So let's put our efforts, and we shall judge you by the value and contribution you have done to this movement, because the efforts will be seen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as we are occupying, don't forget to, if those people that you live near your member of parliament or where there is an office of member of parliament, please kindly don't forget to also occupy those offices. Go take the message there. Occupy. Go those offices. Hizo ni ofisi ambao ni za pesa zetu. Go those CDF offices. Nenda muuliza maswali kuhusu development, kuhusu zile pesa zinavujwa. So yes, it's occupy everywhere. Those in Nairobi, of course, let's have huge numbers going to Milimani Court because that is the day that there will be a case of Adani. So we need at least not less than 100,000 people in that around Milimani Court outside, and those who will be privileged to go to inside the compound. Let's go camp there. And of course, let's carry the placards. And in the placards for people who are going to Milimani High Court, remember this, we are going by the words that lawyer Camino used. Yes, we'll create those posters. Matea, I'll send you those words. What we want to tell the court is, let it not be said that judiciary is corrupt. So we will have those placards, those posters taking around the court. Let it not be said judiciary is corrupt, because that day is their last chance to redeem themselves and inspire hope to the people of Kenya. If they are listening, or those NIS that are listening here, please, kindly, after here, make sure that this information reach to Mother Koome, and so that Mother Koome can tell our entire team that let it not be said that judiciary is corrupt, and they only have one last chance to redeem themselves, and that is in that judgment of Adani. That is the last chance that they will have to redeem themselves. So, yeah, many people will go to that Milimani High Court, but others will occupy everywhere, occupy Safaricom offices, occupy chief's office, sub-county offices, county offices, occupy everywhere. So we go to Philip, then we go to our comrade Justus.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, wache mtu akuwe kidnapped na watu. Say abductors, just burn them alive. Ukiban tu mmoja tu, a group of 5 ati walichoma hapa hivi CBD, hao wengine watakuja, they will be afraid. Those people are very coward. They are cowards. The maana wakujanga na gun kwa peaceful protesters. They cannot come with themselves hivyo wanakuja na magans. Acha ikuwe hivyo. Second thing, manze, usikose kutokea any people around Milimani Court, tupatane huko, let us be there, tukae tunini, yani tu tukose, yani hadi tufunge hizo barabara zote, yani tu wajue tu tuna exist. Any ruling wana make, acha wa make with fear, wajue siku rahisi. Hawa watu wametuzoea, kila siku wanatufanya tu mbaya, kila kitu iko na mwisho. Let it be on 11/11, hata ikwe their last day ever. Hata ikiweza wengine waende usi. Manze, nimejam mbaya sana na hawa watu, nimejam like extremely nimejam. Like I'm looking for the future of our kids, manze, alafu they want to destroy it, man. Imagine every day you're working so hard to make it, ndo mtoto wako asikuwe na hard times, alafu fala fulani anaanza kupitisha bills fulani, je yeye ameshaiba mabilioni fulani. Manze, tujam mbaya sana, tujam. Alafu you cannot have a revolution when you have the fear of death. Please, my brothers and sisters, overcome the fear of death. Unaweza kufa hata saa hii. Die with honor. Acha hiyo loji yako iseme kitu ya maana bana. Die with honor, manze. Si tulienda shule ukakuwa CEO. Die with honor. Let your name be written in the books of history, manze. Let us die with honor. Tukiwa na hiyo mentality, they cannot overtake us. Tutakuwa tumewashika kwa koo, because ndo maana wanafanya abduction. Ndo create fear. Let the fear not exist in our way. Please, my brothers and sisters, hiyo ndo kitu na plead, manze. Kila siku kienda kwa street, kuwa ready to die with honor. Ukiwa hivyo, none of the above ataweza kukustop. Alafu ya mwisho sasa ni, unaona ido inachangwa na the people of diaspora. Let the money be diverted to the protesters who died. Acha do yote iende kwa maprotesters wale walikufa. Let us dedicate everything to the protesters. To dedicate everything, the mind, the soul, the heart, the brain, everything. Adi resources, everything. Acha wale watu walikufa kwa protest wakuwe compensated. Acha tuchange hizo do. Adi wale watakuja kukufa, acha tuchange hizo do. Because people will die, but they will die with honor. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, 11/11/2024, we'll keep on occupying everywhere. Don't forget, mwende kwa offices za MPs, MCAs, occupy everywhere. Wale tuko Nairobi, of course, Milimani is the center point. and also we are occupying other places also huku Nairobi. Yeah, Comrade Justus.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everyone. And Fabish, congratulations again for this passionate zeal to maintain this voice, especially here. I'm joining you again. And yes, we have a choice in life. When things are happening around us, we can choose that we don't like. You know, we can either accept the situation, or sometimes people can choose to do nothing to change it. But change is hard. But not changing is even harder. And most of the time, to change the direction of an organization, you change the leader. In terms of trouble in an organization, naturally, you look for new leadership. When a country is experiencing hard times, you change the president. We elect new one. When a company is losing money, you hire a new CEO. When a church is not performing, you get a new pastor. These are simple. If a school is not performing, you get a new head teacher. You don't go dying with an head teacher who is not performing, or a company dying with a CEO who is not performing. Indeed, where Kenya is today, we have no alternative but to look straight into the eye of our future, because the direction of wind of change, it is here, and we can't alter it. And we need soldiers like us, and soldiers like Fabish, like you here. Not everyone will be able, Fabish, to steer a movement. Just like it takes the captain to chart the course. And I think captainship in the movement requires that we spell out the vision so clearly. And this vision must be circumspect in all the facets. And it must be national, because we agree that all factors remaining constant, this is a great nation. And we are a great people, scientifically, biologically. I've mentioned this over and above before. The scientist says that through genesis, that this geographical location, the blacks, have the strongest or the highest DNA series in human family, because DNA series informs our intellectual superiority, who is more superior than the other. Orangutan, which is a human category, has a DNA series of 3. Gorillas have DNA series of 4. Chimpanzees have DNA series of 5. And Caucasians, the white brothers, have DNA series of 6. Though they hate this information coming out. They never like this information coming out. I'm sure some people will even rebuttal this in the message area when I use these examples. But the truth be said, scientists will say that yes, DNA series informs your intellectual superiority. But systems have been put in place to make sure that you are kept from functioning according to your capacity, because of the education system that you are forced to consume, which actually does the reverse. It's actually works so hard in killing your superiority instead of enabling your superiority. The reasons why Africa is begging, why Africa is second in the face of humanity to date, is not because Africa is lacking mineral resources or economic capability. It is leadership and skewed systems, including not just economic, not just education, even spiritual. You'll find we are having missionary, spiritual, religious foundations, which, as it stands today, if we question, then we will not have a spiritual foundation that satisfy our DNA series. And we are spiritual beings. If we are left at the mercy of the Western colonizers to give us religion that they use to steal our land, they use to control our own people, this religion will not set us free. So yes, we must interrogate and look at critical and functional solution on these aspects. And when you're talking about governance, which is now actually is facing a crisis, the reasons why we are saying that must go, must go. Because this guy has proven us beyond reasonable doubt that he's a comprador, he's a sellout, he's dancing at the whim of anything that comes from the West. If the West tells him to adopt a structural adjustment policy, they adopt that very fast. And look at the adverse effect this thing has brought on us. Right now, people who are earning salary, they're taking close to, leave alone the 40% that we are paying to the government because of these deductions. If after paying the government, still when you're consuming out there, you pay a VAT on every commodity that you're buying. Almost 60 to 70% of your salary goes back to VAT or to the government. Seriously, where on earth would that happen? Who does that to their own people? Ruto does not love us. He does not care about us. This regime does not care about us. They are caring about those external forces, and these external aggressors have never been mindful of us. Each time we start talking about us, that's when you'll hear them, they're talking about racism. When we talk about how we should love ourselves, they'll call us all manner of things. But then when they are ruthless, when they are heartless, when they are atrocious, look at the things that they've done on us. These guys have sponsored genocides. These guys throw viruses on our borders like toys, children's game. These guys will ruin and depopulate. They're actually the things that they'll be doing to us. Look at even the social degradation. These guys have sponsored foundations, even in our media, and they falsified our identity to a point that patriotism was so eroded that we are no longer, people are so confused on where they belong. We are not Westerners, we are not Caucasians, we are Africans, we are with the DNA series of 9. And our invention, our ingenuity, that have actually surpassed human society, historically, archaeologically, even linguistically, if you are to pursue where the world is today, they've learned a lot. They've robbed us a lot of our from our civilization. And in exchange, invested in keeping us dummy. This is what China stopped. The West was investing in China, was selling opium. The first China war with the West was opium war. They were giving the Chinese opium to keep them more dumber. Today, if you're looking at our society, the level of social degradation, the level of social decay, they are causing our own people to destroy themselves. It's a reflexive action. So yes, we must have a captain that can paint that vision so wide that anyone can run with it. And I join you this morning, comrades, in solidarity to say that enough is enough. The opportunity that we've given Ruto, leadership is not experimental. You experiment with people's life. Right now, the experiment is costing so many dear Kenyans who cannot speak for themselves. Right now, to go 6 feet under, visit our hospitals, leave alone the abductions, is killing us ruthlessly, is murdering our own people. And over and above that, the calamities or even little ailments, simple ailments that we could have addressed within our institutions are also still killing people in masses. As we speak, Ruto cannot be given or be entertained in any given moment to continue messing up Kenyans' life and experimenting with Kenyans' life, whereas we have alternatives and we have solutions that can work. So yes, I come out in solidarity in support of 1111, telling us to occupy, and occupy with substance, occupy wherever you will be, and make sure that Kenya is redeemed, is liberated. Actually, they are the minority. They are the minority. We are the majority. They are so few. What they do or ride on is the fears of the populace. When we lose our fear, they lose their power. They are not powerful at all. So to me, it is our moment. It is our time, and we are our own enemy, which we cannot afford to entertain right now. So let's keep moving. We will also, as a party, Justice and Freedom Party, call for a moratorium for any trade that they are engaging on behalf of Kenyans. Those who are lending to Ruto and his government, we will not pay you back. Lend to them at your own risk. Those who are engaging for them on behalf of Kenyans, because they're engaging on illegalities, they're not engaging on in the constitutional premise. And as Kenyans, as we're taking our sovereign authority back, we will guarantee and will make sure that all those deals that we never participated in, those deals will never be honored. So for all global partners, hear us, cease and freeze any activities with the government of William Ruto. And in solidarity with fellow Kenyans, we are going to take back our power. We're going to occupy on 11/11, and may Yahweh and may God bless Kenya. Thank you, Fabish.
Thank you so much, comrade. And thank you for always and choosing to be part of the movement. Indeed, yes, we need to solidify, unify, and speak in one voice, because we all have one country and we are all united by our mother Kenya. So we don't have any other choice but to unite and fight for that what is best for this our country. It is not we don't have any other option. We only have one, that is to unite, then to strategize, focus, mobilize, and then there we go. We have to bring our country back. We go to Eric. Eric Katitwa.
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, Mr. Fabish, and the other hosts. Now, the conversation is moving on well, and I think the anger is boiling well in Kenyans. And today, during the day, there was news around town that somebody collapsed and just died like that on the road within the CBD near OTC. Now, those are signs of depression among Kenyans, hardship among Kenyans. Kenyans have boycotted hospitals. They don't have money to go to hospitals, so they prefer keeping at home. They have lots of illness because probably the guy is in his old age, 50s, 60s. So if they are collapsing and dying, then it means they are not going to get, they are not getting the frequent medical care. So number one thing, our health system has collapsed. The education system, as you can see, it is also collapsing. University lecturers are outside classes, and the entire IWASU has directed all its lecturers to stay away from classes, from lecture halls. And that means that the system of funding has lost direction. More universities at home because of tribalism. It is already closed. You know, we have a lot of reasons to be on the streets. And I'm happy. The mainstream media is, we need to block mainstream media. You know, I've realized there is a funny trend of mainstream media like Citizen, K24, and these other old traditional media houses. They are coming up with spaces during the day and sometimes at night. And when you look at the agenda, like for instance, today we had Citizen discussing the impact of mobile loans. It's something that is totally unnecessary at the moment. They should be actually, they need to spend their time talking about the changes we need in this country. But because they are a compromised lot, they are going to do everything possible within their means to ensure that Kenyans are engaged with idle talk. So let us also populate those spaces and lambast them. Let us tell them what they are doing is wrong. If they don't have an agenda that is going to incite this revolution, let them stay away. so that we drive this revolution on our own. In talking, yesterday I advised guys that we need to begin and to keep talking about this revolution so much, because 11th is not far away. And I will even request that we get volunteers, guys with old lorries. If you have an old lorry that can be repaired so that it just moves from one place to the CBD, it be taken to the garage. We get some welders to do some metal shields in front so that it protects the patriots who will be coming on the streets on that day from the bullets. Because I'm very sure if we choose to go to parliament, if we choose to occupy judiciary, the chief justice office, if we choose to go to state house, we'll need to protect the patriots. We don't want to see them die like they did in June 25th. Now, the other thing is during the day and also throughout yesterday, we've had some MPs. They're coming up with an agenda. We don't need to go to the streets. They'll bring an impeachment motion, so we keep hostage the members of parliament. But let me tell you, it's not easy to bring down a tyrant when he has money. He will buy. Even the impeachment motion is just a way to keep ODM oil in terms of money. They are coming up with the impeachment motion, and the intention is so that Raila is asked to talk, to calm his MPs, and to calm them, then it means Ruto must part with money so as to be protected from any impeachment motion. So we don't need to look at what they do. Let us ignore them. If what they're doing is right, we'll meet on the way. Now, the university students are at home. They should also be made to remember what is it that they can offer to this country. They've been to school. You know, if you've been in high school, you know how sodium, you know how potassium reacts. You know, you can always come up with something that that can work. You know, when sodium is placed in water in a bottle, it's going to react terribly, and it is inflammable. Let us just use these university students. Let them come up with ways in which we can counter the tear gas from the police. And we just do one nice petrol bomb. I tell you, these guys will run away from the streets. Now, the Subaru boys, they will not be able to do anything provided we have our lorries that have metal shields. And let us also park anyone with a vehicle. Let them bring vehicles out. Let us park our vehicles on the highways, park our vehicles on the streets, and move out of those vehicles. We shall walk peacefully to town. The police will not have a means of moving. The roads will be blocked. If you don't want to bring your vehicle to the streets, park it outside, on the road outside your home. Let us paralyze transportation. Let us use power saw. Let people wake up very early to cut trees and let them fall. Let those trees fall on the roads, on the highways. Let us carry those trees all the way, wherever they are along the streets. We populate the roads with these trees. Let us paralyze the transportation system. Let Uganda feel us. Let Tanzania feel us. If we paralyze the highways, they will feel us, and Ruto will run away. Now that we have Kindiki in office, he can take over for the shortest period of time. And if it's a matter of them going, let them go. I would rather have Burkina Faso is doing well with a military officer. Kenyans can also have one who can do better as well. We'll always have a transition government that will carry the day. So let us discuss revolution. Let us discuss revolution. The people who are mobilizing, let us get garages with competent people who can keep secrets. Let us get those tractors, lorries. Let us put shields in front. Let us all have water bowsers that will protect Kenyans from tear gas effects. Let us volunteer totally everything. Let us put lawyers. Let us have a list of volunteer lawyers. Revolution is boiling nicely. if you want to deal with a despot, you also have to act like a despot. Thank you guys for that is my submission.
Powerful, powerful, Eric. That is the way to go. Yes, of course, we cannot just sit down and continue to be killed, to be kidnapped. Yes, in as much as we are peaceful, but also we will not allow to be provoked. We are peaceful, but if you provoke us, yes, we will get provoked and we will react. That is nature of a human being. That is how a human being should operate. We are peaceful, but if you provoke us, we'll be provoked and we'll be react. Enough is enough for everything. So the Subaru boys, be advised, stay away of this. Stay out of this. If you have been sent, tell your boss that no, this is a different time. We are fighting even for for the betterment of your life and your children. Not unless the Subaru boys, you are what we are told that you are not Kenyans, that you are from Burundi. And if you are from Burundi, be rest assured, if we ever find out that you are from Burundi or you are from Congo and you are coming to kill us, you will never go back to Burundi alive. You will go in your caskets, or we will even burn your life in Kenya forever. So the movement is gaining momentum. Now we go to Afro culture. Is it Afro culture? Yes.
Yes, that's me. So whatever is happening in Kenya right now, we need to understand one thing. These people know, and they're trying to fatigue us mentally. And we need to also stand by it, because we're being fatigued, and we're doing exactly what these people are trying to do to us. They're winning, and it's no longer the same business as usual. Because if we keep on doing this same fucking shit, these people know this. They'll fatigue us mentally, they'll fatigue us emotionally, they'll fatigue us in every fucking way that they feel can suppress our feelings towards this government. And
African culture, we lost you, unfortunately. I don't know, is it network? You just dropped.
Are you listening to me right now?
Oh, yes.
Am I
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
So I'm saying we need to figure out a way where we're not being fatigued, because we're being fatigued in a way that this government is doing this intentionally, in a way that they know whatever they're doing. They know whatever they're doing, and they're doing this in.
Fabi, I think it's happening again. Umepotea tena, si ndio?
Okay, I think I'll let someone else speak then, because I feel like my network is kind of broken.
No.
But
Go ahead. I was refreshing
Pardon?
the space. Go ahead. I was refreshing the space. Okay, you have a problem with your network. So, yeah, guys, let's continue requesting for the mic so that we can have as many voices as we can as we are compiling our strategies, the tactics, and how to mobilize for 11/11, the beginning of how we are going to redeem our country. So continue, come to the mic, tell us anything. Don't just say on the listener. And also, let's continue sharing the space so that we can have as many Kenyans coming and giving us their views, their opinions, because movement need collective voices. It's not an individual fight, but it is a collective. Yes, I'm Xavier.
Yes, Fabish, while the speaker was refreshing his space, not refreshing, rather, getting back, I want to say something. Right now, I have just received a call from Kenny in Nyeri, from a family I have supported to start a business 2 months ago, and they're doing well. And they're just telling me the mood on the ground. People are so, of course, this is Mount Kenya Central, Kenny, the area of Kanini Kega. So basically, people are so infuriated. That boy I was talking to, it's like my son, he says, man, we are so disappointed. What do you guys want us to do? I told him, no. I didn't call you about politics. Just tell me some family things. He told me, no, it's politics. Politics is what is affecting us. We did a big mistake, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the mood is palpable, especially in Mount Kenya West. So we are doing something good. I reassured him that we are getting rid of Ruto in very short course. So we are doing, it's getting, the effect is being felt. So people of Kenya, I'm asking them now, if there's somebody from Kenya, just take the advantage of what is out. The supermarket guy that, Shieni, who they banned, the GNZ banned his store. The boy was saying, now he has nothing. I said, you need to ban more of those stores, of those MPs, because they are eating your money. So the mood is good on the ground, especially in Mount Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, that is what we want to hear from the ground, so that we know. But I'm happy. I'm equally happy. Our message, is going far and wide. To be honest, we have been in this platform, and we have been in Facebook, in YouTube. In Facebook, I was surprised that we have been up to 4 channels, people listening and putting us live on those pages. Kudos to those comrades. So our messages are going far and wide. Even now, when you talk to people on the ground, you can see the response. The other day, our comrade